Hello and welcome to the weekly Sound Out live stream that still doesn't officially have a title. It is Monday, December 12th at 5 p.m. Eastern, and we are going to be talking about several topics today, including the Transformers Haslab Deathsaurus, some Marvel Legends reveals and other things, and I'm going to review the Kamen Rider Kuuga manga live, because I don't do manga reviews, but I really want to talk about this weird thing. So, joining me on our wonderful live stream, of course, is the awesome graphic designer of the channel, Darkclaw.
Hello.
And then we also have Fighter Kaus hanging about in his half-awake state.
I believe I've been up for more than 24 hours at this point.
So,
maybe a little under. Yeah.
Probably like 22 hours.
Yeah.
Adjust my headphones. The only reason I wear a hat and then headphones on top of it is because I don't like my hair. SSJ4 Jason just suggested the name Soundstream, and I kind of feel like that works really well. I think we're going to do that. I think we're officially going to call this the Soundstream. All right, it's the Soundstream now, at least this week.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. So let's say hi to the chat. I noticed Russian Wanderer left some questions because he won't be on.
Well, we'll answer him after introductions.
Yep. Let's see. Collector K9, Zeltrax Millennium, Brian, this is J4 Jason, and Muteki T. Welcome to the stream. You guys are the first to show up, and I appreciate that. So yeah, pretty cool stuff. Yeah, let's just do like I guess we'll just do like the first. We'll spend like a good 5 minutes just.
I'll
answer.
Should we answer those questions?
We can answer the questions in the chat. I'm going to be drinking hot chocolate for the first part of the stream because I didn't finish it. It's in my really cool Hawkeye mug that looks like his quiver, and like has like an arrow as like a stirrer. So apologies if you just hear like rattling.
Ceramic. That's your ceramic.
The ceramic nature. This is like the coolest mug because I have really long fingers, so this handle is gigantic, and I appreciate this mug. So it is time to answer some questions from the chat.
All right. So, do you think Titans will be a Haslab funded project?
At this point, if they can't sell a flaming Dodge Charger from hell, they can't sell a Titanus. But if they're going to make a Titanus, it would be a Haslab.
Well, like all the Ultra Zords, like the big Ultra Zord, just like big boy Megazord such mecha. What do you think is the most probably you think will actually be funded out all of them?
I think a really, really large Serpentero would do good, and a Pyramidas would do good. I don't think a Titanus would because we've had too many Titanuses over the years.
I mean,
doing something that hasn't been done since the 90s would actually get them sales.
I've been thinking because I would like to see Delta Command, but I literally can't think how you can do Delta Command while updating Delta Command while still having the carrier feature, while also trying to give that thing posability.
That's like a $500 toy right there.
Because that's the thing.
For it to be scaled with the Zap Zords, Delta Command would be like 500 easy.
And also, like, I don't think you can really design articulation for him if you want to keep the carrier feature so intact, because literally that thing bends physics.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Delta Haslab Brachiozord from Dino Thunder. How giant would that be?
I don't know, because Bandai never could figure out how to make it work.
Because even Bandai back in the day said we can't sell this.
They made the prototype and they're like, this is too big. I would love it if it fit the same size as the original Zords, but
let's see. Which European country do you think Tokusatsu would be welcome the most, and what difference does Ultraman have from Doctor Who? I mean, the main difference between Ultraman and Doctor Who is
everything.
Everything, because they have aliens, yes, but
they both have existed since the 60s. Both have lost official media due to poor handling of official works, and that's about it. Anyways, I don't know about European countries in terms of appeal because I don't live in them, and my overall knowledge of Europe is low.
I stand by France, if only because of how much
Don't they already have, like, what was it, France 5? What's it called?
Yeah, France 5 was the thing.
Let's see. What reaction did you have when your most hated character died?
Flay Ulster died in Gundam Seed, and I clapped. I was watching the show alone in the back room, and I was building a Gunpla, and I dropped everything to applaud the death of Flay Ulster.
That character must be really bad then.
I
If
absolutely hate her. The worst character in fiction for me.
all right, so just got at. Let's see. Brian Plague just got ad for digital release of Black Adam. Interesting. The ad says you can own digital Black Adam. Oh, because that movie came out digitally very fast.
That's because it stopped making money at the box office, and they're like, well, time to make money somewhere else. The thing is, you can own a digital copy, but you're really just owning a license to access it off of a server of a major media corporation. And this is why I love discs.
Muteki T, have you heard Team Red releasing the
Vision driver?
Visor? Oh, really? They are.
Yeah, I'm not too surprised because even though Team Rider didn't announce it, Big Bad Toy Store and Toku Electables both put up the Kamen Rider store exclusive V3 Black and Ichigo buckles for like $25, which means they're getting US releases. So if those are getting US releases, everything is. I don't know about Tycoon's ID Core though. They should really throw that in with something.
How often do you dust/clean your room?
Sort of frequently. Certain areas get dusted more regularly, like the desk gets consistently cleaned. This room, like when I have to add Marvel Legends, that's when they get dusted. Otherwise, they stay because sometimes the dust is holding them in place. But otherwise, like oh god, my McFarlane DC shelves over here like super dusty. This wall behind the computer is all Mattel DC, which I don't touch anymore because I've got everybody from Mattel's DC line. So occasionally I'll run like a compressed air can over them.
So what you're saying is you should do a retrospective video one day on that line.
I should. I really should. But as DC videos don't do well on the channel. Can DC get its act together and be like super popular all of a sudden so I can have reason to make toy videos?
Let's see.
But on that note, I have to dust frequently because I live in a desert.
As for Jason, do you think Hasbro will do Legend figures for pre-MCU stuff like Fantastic Four, X-Men? Well, they already done X-Men.
They did X-Men. I would have said, years ago, been like, oh, they'll never do anything pre-MCU for Marvel. And then they did a whole X-Men line. So, the possibility is there.
I mean, with the X-Men one...
The X-Men now are MCU because of Deadpool 3, but yeah.
I mean, for the X-Men line, they only did, like...
They did the main characters. They did Xavier, Mystique, Magneto, Mystique, Wolverine. Those are the four main characters.
And everyone for Deadpool.
And then everybody from Deadpool except for Colossus and Yukio. We should have had a Colossus and Yukio 2-pack. But the four main characters from the Fox X-Men movies got made. And I almost...
Mystique Mystique
was the Rebecca Romaine one from the...
Rebecca Romaine.
Yeah, so it was the first Mystique. Movie? Yeah, not the Jennifer Lawrence one. And that was fine because the Wolverine matched her. And then the Xavier Magneto set was insane because it came with heads for McKellen and Fassbender and then Stewart and McAvoy. So that set was great outside of the wrong chair for Xavier and some of the weirdness. I thought that was cool, though.
But Ghost Rider, I imagine the problem with that one would be if they could get the license to Nicolas Cage's likeness. Is the problem?
They could do it without his likeness, but they are also just really reluctant to make Ghost Riders because of the bike situation.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing with movie Ghost Rider. Like, at the end of the day, he is just Ghost Rider. His costume is not that much different from the comic version. The only thing that'll make it the movie Ghost Rider will be Nick Cage's face.
I mean, the thing is that they never made the Danny Ketch Ghost Rider, which even though Nick Cage was playing the Johnny Blaze one, they basically had him being the Danny Ketch one.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that. I would love a box set, though. I would love a box set of the Fantastic Four. Just make sure that they model Jessica Alba after the first movie as opposed to her porcelain look from the second one.
Yeah, she's fucking...
If you really want to make me happy, though, you give her a third... You give her three heads. One for the first movie, one for the second movie. And then you give her a third head that's Jessica Alba not being whitewashed by Hollywood. That's how you make me really happy.
They did make this. I do want to get Ben's ponytail. Trench coat. I want Ben's trench coat in the movie.
Ben's trench coat would be great.
All right.
What next? I spent too long on that one.
Jamie's World, hi from the UK. So
Welcome from the
let's
UK.
see, Jamie World. What's better, Lego or Gunpla? They're two different things. That there's no better. There's no one's better than the other for that.
It just depends on who you are, because for me, I don't buy Lego as much anymore because I like the Gunpla experience because it's more challenging.
But that's two different aesthetics. That's also the thing.
Yeah.
One's building blocks. One's built a action figure separated into multiple pieces or vehicle in some other cases.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Best Kamen series so far, in your opinion?
I still think V3 is the best Kamen Rider show crafted. And the only reason I say that, even though it's just like the second show, it's because they refined everything from the first series before they went too crazy with some of the other later ones. It's like this really beautiful package, and it's got like this really great mix of practical effects with visual effects, trying new things while also knowing what works best. And yeah, still the best Kamen Rider show I've seen.
Let's see. Why Shout Factory limits Sentai DVDs to America only? Licenses.
Licenses, not just because Shout Factory's restriction, but also because of the license on Sentai is weird because of Power Rangers. Thanks, Haim Saban.
Yeah, because that's the thing. That's why certain things will be released by a different company in other countries, because that country has different. Because that in other countries they'll have different rights scenarios for that one. Let's see. How do you clean your figure? How do you clean your figures?
Usually, I don't have one around here. I have these Swiffer dusters that are like blue, and they're kind of soft, and I use those to get a lot of dust off. If something's really, really dusty, I'll like wipe it down with like a wet paper towel. And then there's sometimes I'll just use a can of compressed air and just like my DC shelf. They're all like sticky tacked to the shelf, so they don't go anywhere. So I'll just kind of just spray them down every once in a while to get some of the dust off. The harder things to dust is model kits like Gunpla because of how many like pointy bits they have. So I don't usually use like the duster cloth on those. I'll just use the canned air.
Can you confirm this? Because I see Brian Plaga say this. WB said they regret releasing the Snyder Cut. Is that from anywhere?
That was from a quote from one of the executives. Because then they said, "Oh, we regret doing that because now people think we'll just release anything if there's enough demand for it." And it's like, this is why you're out of touch, because you don't really comprehend your possible brand stuff.
That's the thing, because I don't think with that whole scenario, I don't think they should release every single cut from a movie, because that would be ridiculous at that point. Because that would be the only reason why the Snyder Cut was such an important name because this the whole scenario of Justice League production of how Snyder was making a movie, then his whole incident with his daughter happened, and he was pretty much forced to leave the film.
He left the film in confidence that Warner Brothers would just help oversee the editing, and they took that as an opportunity to bring in another director, reshoot a giant portion of the movie and completely make a different film, but still only give Zack Snyder directing credit, even though Josh Whedon directed like 60% of the movie that came out. And that's the problem, is they essentially just they took the unfortunate situation and used it as a way to drag Zack Snyder through the mud with a pretty crap movie.
It was a spite direction.
Yeah.
It was a spite direction because they knew that people did not like Snyder's vision for the DCEU. So they got Josh Whedon, which at the time was a very loved director because of the Avengers and Buffy.
Yep.
So it was pretty much they only got so they wanted to go like, oh, people are complaining about our movies are not being like the Avengers, so let's get the Avengers guy to direct our film, and screw Zack's vision for his universe pretty much. And so
that was the problem, because if you think about it, like Man of Steel comes out and they decide to expand his entire universe off of it, then they sabotage Batman v Superman by forcing a half hour to get cut from it instead of telling him from the start, this is your time limit. They cut a half hour to beat Batman v Superman, which ruins the plot of the movie because it takes out a lot of the details that make sure that things make sense. Yeah, which is ridiculous. So they cut that out. Then people hate Batman v Superman, and they use that as an excuse to retool Suicide Squad and Justice League into different movies.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm glad the Snyder Cut came out, though, because that was a lot of work by a lot of people that was just sitting unfinished. And I'm glad they got to finish it.
That's why I think the Snyder Cut is why it's more important more important. But compared to something like what's Suicide Squad, the Avery cut?
The Air Cut? Yeah, I don't think the Air Cut was going to be good. I'll be real.
Now, like that's the thing, like if that's the thing, because the Snyder Cut has a reason to exist because of the scenario, the situation around it. The air cut, it's just because people just did not like the movie and just
It
think.
tested poorly. The Suicide Squad tested poorly. Warner Brothers never tested the original Justice League cut because they never finished it.
Hmm. So yeah, let's see. Any more questions?
Oh, this is also why Kevin Feige said I'm not doing director's cuts as a rule, so that way nobody tries to campaign for him. Even though I'd like to see what Thor: Love and Thunder looked like in its 4-hour version.
Brian Flanagan, I don't think we'll get more movie X-Men Wave 2 because of how bad the first wave peg warm.
Every anniversary line sells really, really terribly because they jack the price up for no reason.
Unless it's Spider-Man.
Yeah, even the Spider-Man ones have been going on sale a lot. Like every anniversary line is like jacked up prices, overflood of stock, go on clearance. We do it all over again the next year. I don't know how that works. It must be some kind of retail agreement they have.
It must be like my guess. My guess is like It's too far. They're too far to have that part of the lines. Like they must release a anniversary line every year because that's part of the design docket. It's like it's too late.
It's part of the planogram that like each fall we'll get like a fancy anniversary line because we've done it several years in a row and we're doing 2 of them next year. So
what's next year?
They're doing the Avengers and the X-Men 60th anniversaries.
Okay, so next one. So from Lord's Grove Gaming, more from the channels itself. How has the more informative videos been performing? Love the camera licensing and actually figures fit. What other videos similar do you have in mind?
So those have actually been really, really successful. Actually, I thought maybe let me talk about like the analysis of how Kamen Rider licensing is, or how figure arts have fallen. Sometimes, I was like, are those going to do well compared to here's a review of a figure? But they actually do better in a lot of cases. Like the highest performing videos on the channel this month and last month were those more analytical ones. So I'm going to keep doing them for sure. The next one that's coming out for that is going to be Friday's video, which is going to be on Haslab and what has been successful, what hasn't been successful, comparing it to the Castle Eternia crowdfunding that Mattel did, and kind of analyzing the whole big toys crowdfunding space as current to this year. Because I did one last year, and I want to do like a kind of a second edition of that. But yeah, though the analysis videos are doing great. I get a ton of comments on them, which is awesome. They get a bunch of views, and people seem to really like them. So that kind of stuff is going to start to be more the backbone of the channel going forward because it's been doing really well in all categories.
Yeah, so I think that's every question we have so far. So should we get to our first topic? Speaking of Haslab.
Yeah, speaking of Haslab, let's switch screens here. Deathsaurus is the now second Haslab to be funded for the year. And is also the second Haslab to reach all of its stretch goals. As of this morning, they added a bunch more backers. We're at 23,697 backers. Yesterday, we hit the 17,000 to get Deathsaurus' throne. If you want this and can order it from Hasbro Pulse, you have 6 hours and 40 minutes from the moment right now to order it.
You want to place the link in the chat?
Yeah, actually, I can just drop it in because I got the chat open right here. This is the US link. It should also go to the UK. There's a UK and I think a Germany link for Pulse. So, yeah, absolutely. If you're wanting a Deathsaurus, everything's available. So it's him. It's his robot mode. The Death Chicken mode. He of course has.
He comes with we got the base figure, his Batless sword, the 2 Breastmasters with their weapons. The chair, the mace, and the death metal eating gun.
Yep, he's pretty much got everything he could possibly need.
Man, I'm surprised with how posable he is.
Yeah, he's insanely posable. And honestly, yeah, looking at him, like I'm really excited. I backed mine a couple weeks ago.
I backed mine the day they announced it.
Yeah, I was gonna do it the day they announced it, but I had to buy a new Switch because mine melted. So I was like,
mine, they don't take the money out until it gets funded. That's
right.
why
I had to make sure I recovered funds before. Yeah. But anyways, living metal eating cannon, the flail, blast effects, and then he's got this beautiful throne that he sat in for 80% of the show.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, this is gonna be great, and he's about the same size as Victory Saber. Speaking of Victory Saber,
specifically Victory Saber. He's taller than regular Star Saber.
yeah, he's bigger than like the combination. Speaking of Victory Saber, I got mine Saturday, and I messed around with it for no, I got mine on Friday. Is it Friday? Saturday.
No, it came for me Saturday, and it came for me Saturday, so it probably came for you Saturday also.
Yeah,
Unless,
yeah, mine was Saturday. So I got it Saturday, played with it all day Saturday, or all afternoon Saturday. Played with it a bunch yesterday. Filmed the video today, and the video will be going up on Wednesday. I'll talk about QC problems, which are not too bad on mine. I'll talk about QC problems, my overall thoughts on the set. I'll compare it to the Masterpiece, because I do have the Masterpiece Star Saber, and I'll compare the Micromasters even, as well as the size. I got a bunch of size comparisons in there. It's probably going to be a long one. I don't know how long. It's probably going to be like 45 minutes minimum. We'll see how it cuts together when I do the edit tomorrow. But yeah, stay tuned for that, because that was actually voted upon by this stream chat, because I wasn't sure if I was going to do a video. But that'll be coming Wednesday. I try to cover everything I can in that, and I definitely think that when it comes down to it, the Haslab idea for doing characters like Victory Saber or characters like Deathsaurus, great way to do it. Definitely feeling happy with this so far. So,
well, because that's the advantage of, because they said this in, I think,
Yeah.
panels and such. They they're the reason why they're Haslab, so they could actually like have the budget to have everything.
Yep.
And
they feel like complete packages.
Because if they were retail, they'll be missing accessories, paint, or like quality and such like that.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I mean, we're gonna. So yeah, I don't want to say too much about Victory Saber, because I do want everyone to go watch the video on Wednesday. But that should be a fun video, because I think I got all the details I could. I did size comparisons and everything that I could do the best of. I'm curious what the next Haslab will be after this for Transformers. They said it was going to be.
My guess is Primus.
They said it was 40th anniversary related.
I'm gonna say it's Primus to go alongside Unicron.
That would make some sense. Yeah, like have a Cybertron Primus kind of thing. I don't know if I will go for if it's like another Unicron size dude. I'm probably not going to go for it.
For me, I'll fund Deathsaurus the stars because they're normal size figures, but I just got the original Armada Unicron and Cybertron Primus because I can't fit the Haslab Unicron anywhere in my display. Because that's the thing.
I have currently Scorponok, Black Zaurus, Fortress Maximus, Metroplex, Triptychon, Omega Supreme, and the Ark. So I cannot fit another two giant planets. So I'm definitely not going to get Primus if it's Primus, like how we think it might be. Because I didn't get Unicron because I was like, I have too many Titans. I already have trouble getting all the Titans into a shelf.
Yeah, because I only have Scorponok because he's an important character, because he's the main villain of Headmaster. But that's it. Like, I want to get the Arc, but I was like, can I fit him and such like that? I'm probably gonna get Legacy Metroplex because he's a main character in Cybertron, because it's so I might get him because at least I can that's his size in the show. I could just because that's the thing with Unicron and Primus for me.
Oh right, I have the other I have two Metroplexes. I almost forgot about the Cybertron one because he's not on the shelf yet.
Because he's the thing with Unicron, like that's the reason why I'm not bothering to get Haslab Unicron or Haslab Primus to make one. But never in scale. There will never be in scale because like you are their scale by technicality because.
Yeah, they'll never be in scale, so why do I need a bigger one than the one I got? Was my thought on Unicron.
It's kind of saying like every Ant-Man figure's in scale.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
So yeah, I mean, in terms of like Hasbro, I'm congrats to the Transformers team for knocking it out of the park twice in a row. Because yeah, I mean, dang, if this thing gets more backers than Victory Saber, I will actually be really impressed.
Victory Saber had what
27,000, yeah, and this guy's only like at 23,000 already. We're in the clear though. It's at this point. It's like if you want one, go order it. It'll charge in a few hours. Yeah, let's see. What was Victory Saber's final total?
That's gotta be a giant ouch to my wallet.
Victory Saber was 26,211. So
They're almost
Deathsaurus is
even.
not too far behind. Yeah. I wonder if there's a bunch of Masterpiece people picking up Deathsaurus because they didn't make one.
And how is like
Masterpiece.
so that is the masterpiece the same bigger than the Haslab Star Saber?
Yeah. The Masterpiece Star Saber is much bigger, but
So
I think he's going to be about the same. I think the Masterpiece Star Saber and Haslab Deathsaurus are going to be about the same size. I would guess. I think.
around at least.
Around the same size. So if you're a Masterpiece person that's got Star Saber, you might want to get Deathsaurus.
It's like you could probably fudge it in your your collection kind of thing. All I want is like Hasbro or Takara, please release the Takara Mall Diatlas because so I can have all the Japanese leaders. Please.
I really want them to do a new Genrai and a new Diatlas.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't want to do this. We retooled some Titans Return guys anymore. We need to move on from Titans Return. I hate Titans Return. It's my least favorite Transformers line of all time because I like that they gave us Headmasters, and I hate the way the rest of the line went.
For me, I mean that's the thing because I want a new Ford Max because I hate Titan Returns Ford Max so much. But that's the thing because you know sitting next to Earthrise Scorponok, he looks so bad next to Earthrise Scorponok.
Yeah.
Because I want to do Fortress Maximus, but I want to do Diatlas and I want to do Jinrai. I have a third party Jinrai, so I'm fine with Jinrai. So I'll still probably pick up a new Jinrai because I'm a Master Force lover. But like I just want to complete the whole Japanese leaders. Like give us new Diatlas and get Jinrai, just please.
I'm gonna make a poll. We're gonna do a fun poll here because I'm gonna put in a bunch of names and see if people know what they are. All right, we're going to do a poll called "What should be the next Japanese Transformer Haslab?" I'm going to put in 4 options, or all ones I like. I'm just curious to see what everyone thinks.
Well, that's the thing, because I feel like with Star Saber and Deathsaurus, I feel like the next victory toy, if we just go by victory, I think the next victory thing will be retail because they see how much in demand it is, and the rest of the line, I feel like they could probably do them in retail.
They could probably do them at because like Road Caesar's just 3 cars.
Road Caesar,
Dino. They're already doing Dino King. Let's be real. That the core class Dinobots is just Dino King because they combine the same way.
So because we have Breast Force, Breast Force, Multiforce, and the Road Caesar crew, and all 3 of them you could probably do them in retail. Maybe you probably have to.
Oh, don't forget about Landcross. Landcross is fun.
No, that's Multiforce.
Yeah. Well, what? Okay, it's got Dino Force, Multiforce, Breast Force. Yeah, Road Caesar. Oh yeah, because we already got Galaxy Shuttle.
Galaxy Shuttle, is already in the line. So, and Breast Force and Multiforce, they have a lot of things to do, especially because Multiforce is the power linking gimmick for Energon before Energon. And I feel like they could do it. I'm not sure you could do Landcross. Like it's either they get rid of their Multiforce gimmick and only do Landcross, or they get rid of Landcross and keep the Multiforce.
I think they should keep Landcross, but just drop the Multiforce.
Yeah, because because I really like the Multiforce gimmick, but like if I had to sacrifice one for the other, I'll take Landcrosser because at least because that's a full complete robot versus you getting a bigger robot. Versus a small robot. As much as I love the Multiforce / Power Link gimmick a lot,
this poll's just going to be 3 options because my brain's shutting down. Poll is posted. What should be the next Japanese Transformers Haslab? Diatlas, Grand Maximus, or Raiden? Or Raiden. God, stupid Mortal Kombat screwed me up for life.
It's I think it's totally pronounced Raiden.
It's technically Raiden because of the AI. Because in Mortal Kombat they made it an A sound, which should be an I sound. So, anyways, those are the 3 options. Grand Maximus could also fund us a new Fortress Maximus. I didn't put God Jinrai in there because they said no Optimus Prime would be a Haslab. So
and technically, he's not an Optimus. He is an Optimus because they're probably advertising his Power Master Optimus Prime. Yada.
I want a new one. I mean, let's just do it. There's nothing stopping them. We're doing Transformers properly now, so let's not do this Titan Return thing.
Is it nice to have since we're out, John Warren's left, that we're getting all these other characters outside of G1 finally.
And they're also not focusing on this. Every year has to have a unified gimmick thing because that wrecked.
Evolution's gimmick is not really a gimmick. It's just something the toy can already do by design.
Yeah.
Because like Power to Primes still has a sour taste in my mouth still. Because God, I
Titans Return and Power of the Primes, I don't like either of them.
Power to like Titan Returns,
I'm
I think-
glad for the characters we got, but my God, I do not like the way the lines are structured. The forcing in the headmaster gimmick to every toy in Titans Return really wrecked it for me.
for like yeah, I'm fine for all the headmaster characters, but like
Everybody
Yeah,
that,
like-
that shouldn't have been a headmaster shouldn't have been a headmaster.
ours, I mean, like so, yeah, like because everybody, I think anybody that wasn't a headmaster has gotten new toys. I think at this point from Titan's Return.
Pretty much.
Like-
I think we're still waiting on Six Shot.
Six shot, yeah, like.
And
my-
Overlord and Black Shadow.
I think those three, at least, I don't think that.
I want a different Black Shadow that transforms proper because he shouldn't be an Overlord retool. He should be
Yeah,
he should
but-
be he should be gang molded with Thunderwing.
But Overlord and Six Shot, I think they're probably the only two I think are fine. That
I would
the
like
toys
a
are
new
think-
Six Shot because the quality on the old one sucks. He keeps falling.
I never got the Titan Return Six Shot. Not because I didn't want it, but I just never found it. I got Overlord at a Ross, and I'm happy about that. Though I really wish I had the card version, which is Master Force accurate, because even the card version has the God Masters in his chest, molded in, like fully molded in, not like they were headmasters their own.
There's a lot of stuff where I'm like, I'm glad we got it, but now that we're doing
definitely,
things
I see,
better, we should just go. We should do
Will
better.
Will in the chat, the Power to Primes Pretenders still upset me. Yep.
Yep, I like the way we're doing Pretenders now, where it's just like screw it. Robot mode is the Pretender shell. Vehicle mode is the Innerbots. Vehicle mode, perfect. Just do that for all of them.
It's just better. It's just better because, like even for the Autobots, if you give them robot faces, that'll still be fine because their more iconic looks are their Pretender armor, both U.S. and Japanese continuities.
Yeah, exactly. Like, there's no reason to try to do the shell thing. I mean, the shell thing's fine, but it's just like with the Dino Force for Victory. Like, I think they're just going to retool the core class Dinobots into them, and that'll be fine. Their Dino modes will be the shells, and the robot modes will be the inner robots.
And to be because honestly, I think that I know. Because as much as I love the Pretender shells, there's no way there's no way in logic you can make those without any like hindrance and articulation in both modes.
Here's a throw out dumb idea for Hasbro to do as a Haslab. Do every Micromaster as it should be. The ones that should be recolors. The ones that new molds. Redesign them so they don't have ball joints, and Haslab it for like $100. You get like all 75 Micromasters.
Mm-hmm.
I would buy it. I would totally buy it. I want all the Micromasters done properly. I hate how they're done.
Yeah, because the only Micromaster I think was decent are was Flak the missile
yeah,
vehicle?
Flak was okay.
Flak and what were those
I like
two that came
Countdown.
with this? Countdown was good. What was the one that combines together that came around the same time as missile? What was his name? The double Tiger Master in Siege. What was his name again?
Scoop.
No, in Siege.
Spinister.
Spinister. You
Are
know
you
the
talking
one
Power
I'm talking
Punch?
The
The blue truck. The two combined trucks.
blue truck.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
one was fine, and the space shuttle was fine. Yeah, those were fine.
Ones are just. They're just either they literally.
The way that Big Daddy was butchered makes me sad.
The car molds are the worst molds.
Yeah.
The only other good one was the Star Saber, the evil Star Saber one, the two jets.
Yep.
Those are the other good ones I like, but the rest are just.
All right, we did 5 minutes on the poll. I'm going to close this poll. I'm curious to see the results. Let's find out what our poll results are. Okay, so what should be the next Japanese TF Haslab? Diatlas got 50% of the votes. Excellent.
Honestly, I'm surprised.
Raiden got 27%, and Grand Maximus got 22%. So yeah, I mean, I think Diatlas is a good one.
Would Diatlas would that just be Diatlas, or do you think that's gonna put all three of the Zone trio? Because
I mean, they'll just do all of Big Powered. There's no point to just do Diatlas. It's just like with Deathsaurus and just like with Victory Saber. if it can go with it, they'll just put it all together.
Because you can't really have one without the other.
Yeah.
Like it's such like let's see. Some questions.
Yeah, we can do some chat questions before we move on from Transformers to my next thing.
Which rundown video are you most looking forward to making?
Probably G.I. Joe, because like almost every figure is amazing. Almost. There are a couple stinkers in the bunch, but I'm looking forward to doing the G.I. Joe one. Also because I discovered a new quality control issue in Hasbro figures that I get to talk about. Hooray.
Oh, what's wrong? You don't want to do Lightning Collection?
I'm looking forward to Lightning Collection the least because there's going to be like 12 figures. I'm just going to be like, here's some pictures. Because I don't want to pay full price for them right now because the quality control is just too all over the place. And the fact that, it's like, because I have choices, right? Because if I was only collecting Lightning, I'd probably like be fine with it. But it's like, oh, I could buy this wave of Lightning, or I could get the coolest Daredevil figure I ever did see in a 3-pack with another figure I wanted and another figure I don't care about. If I'm going to be spending money, I'm like, all right, Marvel's been treating me better quality-wise than Power Rangers. So that's just kind of like throwing me off a little bit from doing the Power Rangers rundown, because I'm just going to have a lot of figures that are images. I'll probably pick them up eventually, but, when it comes down to, like, cost adjustment of, like, what do I feel like spending money on, it's like, all right, this takes priority over this takes priority over this. I know Power Rangers doesn't sell that well and will stick around, so I can afford to wait on those. Whereas, like, certain Marvel figures, I got to snap them up right away. G.I. Joe.
They say poof.
Yeah, so a bunch of them go poof. G.I. Joe, I cannot wait for the next figure of those, so I always grab those first. And then Transformers is popular enough that you kind of get one wave before the next wave hits, or else you can miss out on some characters. So,
or else they disappear from the ether.
Yeah, I need to finish Legacy Wave 3 because apparently the UK is getting Evolution Wave 1 soon.
Yeah, I still get to find Wave 3 in stores yet. I'm like, I want that wave the most.
I'm down to needing because I got Bomb Burst in, I got Dragon Megatron. I need Starscream, the Armada Starscream, Skullgrin, Crankcase, and Point Blank, and then I'm done. Then I'm done with Legacy because I got everybody else now.
The only one I don't really want, because I'm hoping for a better version, is Point Blank, because I want a Masters version.
I'm just gonna get Point Blank and hope for the best on a better one later. I'll double dip on Point Blank, but I mean Crankcase looks good too. So
Crankcase, like, I have no attachment to care, but I like that mold. That mold looks really nice. Let's
Looking
see.
At the chat, I just want to confirm that Time Force is also my favorite series.
And Time Force is currently the most screwed over in Lightning Collection.
Do you saw that one photo of someone's Time Force Blue?
I just have Time Red. That's it. Yeah.
You ever seen that photo of Time Force Blue literally exploding?
Yes, because there was no glue in the figure.
How does that happen? I've never seen
so okay, this is a minor Lightning Collection news update. Hasbro has job listings in Vietnam for QC testers and QC supervisors, which implies to me that maybe they didn't have any before, or the person that was there got fired and they're looking for a new one. Either or, at least they're looking for somebody to look over that stuff, because boy, this last batch has been rough.
That maybe explains the roughness of the recent
I also
figures.
agree with the chat that we do need Quantum Ranger, and I am also surprised that he is not out yet.
I am also cool with them taking another year to get Quantum Ranger to see if QC was better.
I was just gonna say that. It's a blessing, actually, now that I think about it, because like it's better to wait.
Yeah, I'm always surprised they haven't done Quantum yet, because you think how popular the character is, both like in PR / outside meta popularity, because of Dan
Southworth being popular.
That's Southworth popular because of DMC. So I mean, they haven't done him yet.
Yeah,
but then again, they haven't done Gen yet. So I don't know what they're doing with Time Force.
I would honestly hope that they just stop doing Time Force until the QC is better, because I can't have a third one not be good.
Yeah. I'm just happy Dionlander, with the inconsistencies, are at least decent. Now, if this was Ninja Storm, I'll be probably more of a bigger hissing fit if Ninja Storm had this quality control issue.
I am very, very glad that they did the weird decision to make the Alien Rangers with the male Rangers are on the old body and Delphine's on the new body, because the new female body is great and the old male body is the better one. So that set should turn out pretty nice.
Well, yeah, they're not. They don't go kaboom.
As long as they're fully assembled, have all their parts, and the paint is mostly in the right place, I will call that a win.
Now I'm just imagining.
I did order the Alien Rangers because I love Copy Ranger too much to skip them. So
now I'm just imagining someone open their box and literally everything's in pieces. All you hear is like the Lego, like in the Lego video games, that broken sound. That like.
I mean, all right. So like, I just got this Marvel Legends set in. It's the Heralds of Galactus. The thing with Marvel, I think I've mentioned this, is that they have the accessories loose in the box, like they're not tied down at all. So you get this lovely sound.
Rattle.
Yeah, so that's fun. I hope I didn't blow the speakers on.
I was a favorite question. Why is the G.I. Joe team?
Hey, I got a question.
What?
Yeah.
It's about the Zeltrax brought up the Alien Rangers pack. Does that one have QC?
Well, it's not out yet.
We'll find out, and it's supposed to. It's supposedly June, but it's probably like March or April. But I hope it does well.
As a kid, I never got the Alien Ranger toys I wanted.
Sal, we're talking about Hasbro here, so it could literally be out by tomorrow. Who knows?
Yeah, I hope the Alien Rangers are good, because a lot of people don't have Alien Ranger figures, because the original toys were super duper rare.
Exactly. As a kid, I never got them.
And they only made one for the Red Action Hero line.
I got every other figure growing up of Power Rangers except for Alien Rangers. Never had them.
Because I don't think they ever re-released them in like those Power Playback, like Evergreen lines.
They never re-released them, and they actually didn't even make new molds for them. They were the Japanese figures.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Read some more chat. Question chat. Thoughts on Suicide Squad killed the Justice League? Still not having a gameplay trailer yet.
It's dumb that we've 3 years since reveal. It's our third trailer. It's been 16 months since the last one, and there's still no gameplay. And it's supposedly out in 6 months or 5 months.
And that's very concerning.
Very concerning, because if they don't want to show us the gameplay, maybe the gameplay isn't
good. Like, the Kevin tribute was very sweet, but it's one of those things where it's like, you still show gameplay trailers while also tributing Kevin Conroy.
What was the thing I said when we were watching it, Kaus? I was like, you know what? This is sweet, but I literally don't care until they show me gameplay.
Yeah, that's basically what you said, yeah.
That's the thing, because, you know, it was really sweet that they did that tribute to Kevin. We don't know how much I don't think it'll be like Kevin Conroy's last performance, unless they.
I think he's done a bunch of other stuff.
Unless someone actually fully says like Kevin Conroy's last voice, like actual voice performance is blank, then we don't know that's gonna be his last.
Yeah.
We still don't know that's gonna be his last time playing Batman. There's probably a different project where he played Batman in it before his passing. We just don't know.
On the stream, I'm going to show, this is the inner box to this Galactus set. This is like the nicest Marvel packaging, because there's a crap ton of cardboard around them. The accessories are still in a bag, a very thin bag.
It's definitely better than the Silk and Doc Ock pack where they were literally just thrown in there. I think.
Yeah, I mean, I think. Let's find out if the figures are okay. I've been noticing this too. A lot of the bags come torn, just because of the cardboard.
Because they're tissue, literal tissue paper.
Yeah, like the tissue paper. In terms of a re-release of a 2012 Marvel Legend, Terrax looks like he's fine. I know some people were like, "Oh, why'd they not do a new mold?" Because they don't need to.
Because the original figure's fine enough. Like
he's fine. It's like, give him some new paint, give him some better joints. This is an upgrade. I've seen most people that have the original Terrax are not too upset they had to buy him again, because the original one is notoriously like loose, you know. And if you were that attached to the Fallen one that you're like, oh, I hate that I have to buy Terrax again to get the Fallen one. If anyone's attached to the Fallen one that much, they'll be willing to pay the price just for him. He's a nobody. But he's also like not even painted outside. He's got paint on his face and his head. Otherwise, he's just screaming into the abyss. I'm gonna open these more later, but I was like, yeah, let's do like, you know, more plastic-free packaging analysis. I'll mess with these later because their joints are super tight. But
More questions. Thoughts on Sentai using more CG than practical effects and characteristics such characters. I hate it personally.
I hate it. The more CG we use in place of practical stuff, if you can do it practical, and you have a reason to if you can do it practical, do it practical. If you can't do it practical, do it CG. Unless you're doing the CG for no reason, because Inui Brother and Kiji Brother have no reason to look like the way they do.
When I was working last night, I saw the stage play costumes, and I'm like, why don't they just do that?
Well, here's the thing: if you want to do like far away shots, they're CG because there's their
Right.
proportions fine, but up close shots should be.
I will
Like,
also add there is absolutely zero reason for them to look like that.
Like you saw the stage play too, right, Sound? Of course.
Yeah, I've seen it. It looks great. I would love that.
Yeah. What the heck?
Have they ever explained why they look like mutant freaks?
Inoue doesn't care enough to explain things like that.
Like, that's the thing. I will always say this about Don Brothers. I don't mind if the show is zany, if the rest of the world is zany, but the world is still, like, pretty normal from what I've seen of it, outside, of course, of the fantasy elements.
I will say it doesn't matter what the quality of Don Brothers is as a show. It's absolutely the worst Super Sentai show ever made because it completely betrays everything Super Sentai is.
I just think
that part always bugs me. The show can be good, but all the characters are psychopaths. They don't use any of the good Sentai tropes, like, I don't know, roll calls.
Like,
I like roll calls. It's part of
They did
Sentai.
a joke roll call.
Yeah.
I was like, and the bad guys got a proper roll call.
Like, to me,
I'm like, wait, what?
Wait, a Sentai series, for me, a Sentai series should feel like a group of heroic people coming together to stop an evil threat while having their own character stuff, and of course. But, like, having the
Love After World Domination is a Sentai parody that's a better Sentai than Don Brothers.
I literally said that when me and my friend were watching that show. I love that show so much, by the way.
Oh, that show's great.
Oh god, I love that show. That show was my
I mean, Don Brothers is fine, but it's just like Kamen Rider Saber, where like Kamen Rider Saber was so much a Sentai show, and Don Brothers is so much a writer show.
Will you say Saber is more of a Sentai show compared to Don Brothers?
Yeah, totally.
Because that's the thing, Sentai is always about teamwork and camaraderie, and that's not.
It's kind of funny. I enjoy Don Brothers, but for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
Well, that's my huge thing.
And that's the thing is, I think Don Brothers as a show, like, because I haven't been watching it, Don Brothers as a show seems to be a good show. I just don't think it's a good Sentai show.
Yeah.
Here's the thing with Don Brothers. Here's the thing about Don Brothers when people say, "Oh, the show's like the reason why I feel like the show." Those are all things I would like about it if it was if it wasn't Sentai, because everything because we got Chanjirion, which is very similar. But the thing is, Chanjiro is his own hero. He has his own, that tone is fine because it's his own brand of hero.
The thing for me is I think about the Don Brothers teaming up with other Sentai teams, and the other Sentai teams going, "Oh God, what is wrong with these people?" Like, they don't seem well. Like
that Oni sister driving one.
I saw the clip of her driving. It's hilarious, and I'm like, I will watch this show and probably enjoy it as a bubble show, but as a Sentai show, I don't think it's. I know that the toy sales are up because the toys are actually designed good, like in the mecha toys especially. I hope they don't take Don Brothers as the template for Sentai going forward, because
I don't think
they shouldn't try to do it more than once. This is a show that's only going to work once,
like
and
a special, unique one. Yeah.
Exactly, it's got to be special, unique. Don't try it again because it's never going to work a second time.
And that's the thing, because I feel like if I never saw Chanjirion, I think I'll feel like won't mind Don Brothers as much. But the fact I have seen Chanjirion makes me dislike Don Brothers more, because all I see is a discount Chanjirion. Is all I see with Don Brothers.
Inoue has two settings. It's either over the top insane or horribly depressing, and there is no mid ground.
Apparently, yeah, exactly.
And that's the thing, because I want to say this, because I see people go like, because this kind of relates to really not Rise of the Beast for some reason. People talk about CG. I see people go like, well, Don Brothers has bad CG, so like, what, and they weren't like trying to be sarcastic. They're trying to say it was a response to someone saying the CG of Rise of the Beast trailer looked bad, even though it isn't. And they go and their response is like, well, it's totally, they could get away with bad CG. I'm like, no, No, I don't care what I don't care. It's like, oh, that's the charm of it. No, it's bad CG. It's still animators getting crunched every week. It's
When you can see the crunch, you know that the company's not treating their people right.
I don't
And
care.
that
That's
bugs
like
me.
because it feels like they're trying to give an excuse, going like, oh, it's Sentai and it's Toei. Then what do you expect? Of course, it's not gonna be the best CG in the world. And that I call bull because Ultraman looks fine to this day.
Ultraman uses the same VFX studio as Super Sentai and Kamen Rider. The only difference is
Garo has
the
Garo
thing
has
is,
a much smaller budget
yep.
compared to Sentai.
The
And that
difference,
CG
the
still holds up
difference is
fine.
Sentai and Rider. Why their CG doesn't look as good as Ultraman or Garo is because Ultraman and Garo being shorter series, they have lead time on the production, so that the CG artists have time to design everything, work through it, and they have render time. The CG would look better in Rider and Sentai if they had render time. And that's the
Even then,
problem, is they don't have the time to
even
render the details. They can't make them
That is
textured. They
true.
can't add the
There's
shadows
no. Yep.
because there's no time to render it. It would take
Oh
too
my
long.
god, Inu brother always running around with no shadows or texture, just.
and clipping, so much clipping.
Yep.
Oh yeah, that too. Yep.
Because there's no time
he-
to QA it, and there's no time to spend time rendering the VFX because that takes sometimes days for heavy
Here's
things.
another thing. Here's another
As
thing
somebody
with
who's
Dharma
used
CG.
Blender, I know that's true.
Yep, same with Source Filmmaker. Like here's the thing. Here's the thing. Also, I think in comparison to say Geats, Geats has CGI also, and the CG still doesn't look great there. But the thing, I think the major difference is it feels like they got a CG like director for that. Like it feels like they actually got an animation director for the CG modes that they did. Because the Tycoon, when Taiki was first became his ninja form, while the CG is still rough because of the same rendering, it was directed amazingly because the camera was moving around. The camera was doing many cool poses. It felt like they actually had direction with that scene. Non-Don Brothers CG is directed. They're all
The
directed.
problem
like,
is Don Brothers is
Inu
directed
brother
like
is the closest. To...
Yeah.
Go ahead, sorry.
I was gonna say
Okay,
Don
chat
Brothers is directed like there's two physical people standing there.
Like they feel like they directed in the animators to make them look like live action puppets, and they don't look good at all.
I think that's
for
the thing is that it's because with Geats they will replace a character with a CG double for stunts that are too dangerous or too over the top to be done physically and practically. Whereas with Don Brothers, they're replacing two people with CGI versions because.
And I think what's situation with Eobard that always annoys me because he's literally a Sonic Hedgehog character. Same giant head, big feet, big hands. So I have expectations how that character design moves because of Sonic the Hedgehog. And seeing stuff like Sonic Prime's animation versus Eobard's, it was painful to see. Like, I see like how because that's the thing. It feels like these models cannot squash and stretch, even though they should.
They don't have the
It
time
feels
to
like
squash and stretch.
Yeah, they're too rig. They feel like they're using the rig, just the basic rig on them, so they look like literally there's puppets on strings because they puppets on strings. It just I just it's just painful as a artist myself, just seeing that as someone who understands how CG animating works. I always get hate when people say, "Oh, CG is so much easier than 2D animation," and to be fair, it is definitely not as tedious as 2D
Because
animation.
you don't have to
Still doesn't
keyframe the
mean
animations as much as just program the models.
Yeah, but it still takes to make it look good. Still takes hard time and effort.
Especially when
And
you're
I
mixing it
really
with live action, because you have to add texture, shading, detail, lighting, and shadows. Shadows are a bitch to edit.
I really hate when so many people disses 3D animation because 3D animation is not as easy as people think it is.
Nope.
Because
animation is not
you
easy. Period.
Anyway, so that's a little
So
rant about
speaking of Toshiki Inoue and art, let's talk about the Kamen Rider Kuuga manga. Because I want to talk about this.
Us with this because I didn't even know this came out.
All right, so this is the thing. I was sort of not looking forward to this release because I heard stories of people that said I don't want to fan translate this manga.
Oh wow! So first up, before we go to the actual content of the manga, how's the quality? Because who's publishing this again?
This is Stonebot Comics, which is Titan's Titan Comics / Titan Magazine's new imprint that they're doing for licensed stuff like
Manga?
Kamen Rider, like manga. The Kamen Rider 01 comic which I didn't like the first issue of that much because I felt like nobody was paying attention at the wheel. I think that the publishing quality on the 01 and then also the manga, it's a really, really solid pages. They're not see-through, which is great because I've been doing a lot of Viz
it's
stuff.
actually decent quality.
Actually decent quality. Unfortunately, the color pages from the original manga are black and white here. They didn't pay for color. That's fine though.
Either I always imagine either they couldn't pay for color or the original masters were like not great quality.
Or sometimes they're just not available. This manga's only from 2015. So
Wait, really? Wait, the manga's that?
This manga, not because this didn't come out as a tie into the show. This was a reimagining. This is why they had this manga Kuuga appear in that one Kamen Rider movie, because this is a completely different character.
Zio. That's
the Zio movie.
Really? I thought it came out during the show's run because I thought it was like a Kamen Rider Spirits thing.
This is a manga. This is a 2015 retelling of Kuuga for the 15th anniversary of Kuuga.
Is that the same thing with the Agito manga? Because I know there's an Agito manga that also came out.
I don't know about the Agito manga because I know the Kuuga manga brings in a bunch of Agito elements.
Okay, so I don't think there's an Agito manga. I just think there's Agito characters in the Kuuga manga then. Because I know there's some weirdness with Kuuga in these mangas. I mean, Agito in these mangas.
So with Kuuga, the Kuuga manga, this is a separate version of Kuuga. Which, by the way, I will say the quality is not as good as Seven Seas' hardcover classic Kamen Rider omnibus, but then again, this is. This is a $13. This is a $13 tankobon, not like a hardcover omnibus edition. So.
That was like what, $50?
Yeah, that was 30 or 40. Seven Seas stuff is expensive. Crazy, but anyways. Point is, this is volume 1. There's 14 volumes of this. We've got solicitations up through volume 5. So the question is, I think a lot of people I've seen people talk about it, like, oh, is it worth buying? It depends on what kind of manga you like, because I don't like this that much. So to kind of give a recap, without like major spoilers, this is a retelling of Kamen Rider Kuuga in a different style. It's set in 2015 as opposed to 2000. And
how does it compare to Futo PI? If you want to do a quick comparison to Futo PI,
Futo PI is a sequel, and it tries to stay in the same spirit as Double, if going a little bit more mature with things like violence and nudity. This is more violent, less tasteful, and kind of I don't know. I want to prep. Essentially, it's like I'm not telling anybody to not buy this, but I want to prep you for what's inside. Because if you go in thinking, oh, it's an adaptation of Kamen Rider Kuuga, it's not so wholesome. And I know Kuuga gets dark, but this is not so wholesome. So, essentially...
Kuuga gets dark, but it's more of a mature, like...
Yeah.
Deconstruction kind of story.
So, if anybody's been watching Dawn Brothers, they know Toshiki Inoue's off his rocker most times, right? Inoue wrote this
manga?
Inoue wrote this manga. So here's the basics, okay? This starts out different. Instead of starting out, it starts out in the cave, with like the mummified body with the Kuuga belt, like we saw in the show. But then it essentially spends most of the next part of it focusing on Ichijo, the detective character, as like the main character essentially of this manga. And they drew him to look really, really handsome for some reason. But essentially, it follows Ichijo, and they're following serial killer cases. Not Grongi yet. Like, it takes a while for the Grongi to show up. And then there's just some weird moments, because essentially, Ichijo's like, oh, I'm this tough detective that can do anything. And they're, like, investigating a serial killer. And the fun part is when the serial killer bites off his own tongue so he can choke himself to unalive himself. And Ichijo stops him from dying by doing this. And Ryan, you'll get to see it on the stream in a minute. And, anyways, it's weird. It's kind of gross. And that's how he gets the tongue out of the guy's throat. Yeah, anyways, then it just gets, like, really weird, where, like, serial killer dude explodes because a Grongi shows up, and then Kuuga shows up, and it's like, yay, there's Kuuga. Woo.
Because just thinking, because I'm assuming like the anime, because I haven't read the manga of Fluffy because it's not translated, but I'm assuming the anime is pretty close in terms of what things happens in the manga for Fluffy. I'm assuming.
Yes, and then it
Because
also
everything in Fluffy, because things in Fluffy are a little more mature, yes, but still in the tone of Double, like nothing felt
and the anime
super out of place.
the anime toned down the violence a bit, and it toned down the nudity, like because there isn't like bare nipples.
Well, yeah, Tokume is not showing your nips.
So anyways, the thing is that the manga goes along and introduces Godai Yusuke, and I don't think I was ready for the reveal of manga Godai Yusuke.
Oh, what they do?
Because
Because Godai's like a wholesome. Godai's like a wholesome boy.
he's still wholesome, but he gives me an entirely different vibe now than before.
Wait, that's Godai. That's the thing, Godai.
Yes.
That's that's an interesting take on
the punk hair and the pierced ears is Godai Yusuke. First seen trying to birth a horse.
Wait, what? Okay. The shows him with a kid playing ball and everything like that.
Yeah, no, he's trying to birth a horse and then he gets arrested.
Okay.
And he's also wearing this jacket, looks like the old Kamen Rider jacket. The old Kamen Rider 1 design. So, the thing is I'm like, alright, there is some good artwork in this. Like, I think it's really beautifully illustrated. Like, the transformation artwork's really great.
dude, like, SH4J said, dude looks like Iggy from Initial D.
Yeah, he kind of does. He really does. The fun part is characters like Sakuraka-san, who is like this really strong, independent character who didn't need saving, instantly becomes the damsel in distress to the Bat Grongi. So like the first thing she does is get kidnapped. Yeah, and then stuff happens, and the volume ends on a really weird note, where like Godai, I don't know, I'm just spoilers for 1 out of 14 volumes, but it ends with him like transforming intentionally and becoming Kuuga, and then it ends. And they used Henshin in this, just like they did in the 01 manga, and then added a little translator note for Henshin means transform. Anyways, so Hellfire did mention, isn't it 2015 skills? Yeah, he mentions it in the manga. He's like, I have 2000, what year is it? 2015 skills. This is nuts. This is not anything in line with Kuuga the show. And if you are planning to pick this up, I would recommend getting it if you think you like this type of manga. If you've liked what I've shown, if you're like, oh, that sounds like a great, crazy ride, go for it. If you were expecting a more normal Kamen Rider adventure, I wouldn't spend the money on this.
Even though hearing this out of context, I'm not sure hearing this because Kuuga is one of my favorite Kamen Riders of all time because of the story and writing characters. Of it goes from you go from Godai becoming a happy boy to seeing how awful the Grongi are and just kind of seeing his downfall and the great character study. Hearing all that just.
This is kind of, in a way, in trashy mode. This is like the schlocky version of Kuuga. It's definitely, look at all the blood and violence we can throw in. Look how weird it is. And I don't usually like that.
I think of Black Sun, and one thing I'll praise Black Sun so much is how the gore of Black Sun is not excessive ever.
Yeah,
because I always feel it with blood and gore and stuff that feels out of places. You need to be immersed in this world that you expect this kind of gore and blood and such to fit in. If it's not just like, oh, here's blood everywhere kind of thing.
This one is suggested for mature readers, so it's not like the Devilman. For some reason, the Devilman Classic collections were rated teen, and I was like, Anyways, it does say suggested for mature readers. If you want it, $13 in the US. It's worth buying if you like this type of manga. I'm probably going to keep buying it, only because I would really love Kamen Rider Spirits one day, and the only way that's going to happen is if...
Kamen Rider Spirits is dope.
Spirits is great.
The
from what
only
I've
way for
seen.
Spirits to
Oh.
happen is for there to be a market for Kamen Rider manga, and the only way for that to happen is for these to sell. So,
I mean, I'm more surprised we got the Kuuga manga before we got Fudo PI. Honestly, you think they'll do that for the anime?
my guess
tie-in?
is because Futo PI is still running.
Yeah, that's probably the reason why.
I've noticed this with manga publishers because I know someone asked Seven Seas, "Oh, are you going to do Spirits?" And they're like, "It's 31 volumes. We'd really have to be confident in sales to want to tackle a project that big."
I know, for example, like a certain light novel series, they didn't begin translating them into their finish. Like Day Alive is a series I love, and that just got
Gundam
finished.
Thunderbolt. They didn't start translating until 10 volumes were out in Japan, so they knew how long, if it was going to be a long commitment or not. A lot of publishers for mangas that are on the lesser known things, like the non-shonen stuff, or like the mainstream, like
They need
Kamen
to
Rider,
see how
they want to
they
know
need to
how
see-
many volumes it is before they go into it, because they don't want to commit to it and like have to stop because it's not selling.
All right, back to questions.
Back to questions. Anybody got questions about the
I have a
Kuuga
question about
manga
Kuuga.
first of all? Yeah. Kaus, you got a question? Go for it.
On a scale of how like darker and edgier it is, would you say it's just slightly darker and edgier, or would you call this violence Kuuga?
Pull the lever.
I would say, this
I
is.
imagine you're just thinking. You're like pondering.
I'm pondering.
Is this Go Nagai level or no?
The other guy has
Go
charm.
Nagai had a point to make with it.
There's also charm.
is true.
I mean, also Go Nagai says he was possessed by the spirit of a dead conquistador when he wrote Devilman. So there's.
I mean, didn't he literally write Mazinger Z because how depressing Devilman's ending was?
Yes.
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 He's
Mazinger
like,
Z
"Man, I
was
need
his
to lighten up."
therapy.
He was like, I need to lighten up. Jeez.
Yep. And he made Cutie Honey because he felt like young boys in Japan were going to grow up with no attraction to women.
That's pretty much what happened anyway.
Which the thing is, Go Nagai, if you wanted that to be your thing, you wrote Devilman as the most homoerotic manga to ever exist. That was your fault. You're trying to solve a problem you created. Anyways, the point is, I'm trying to describe the Kuuga manga. If Kuuga
the
is
Kuuga
like
manga,
what's an intellectual horror film? Like, I don't know, American Werewolf in London. That's a pretty nice horror film. It's got point to it. It's violent, but it's not like obscene about it. If Kuuga is American Werewolf in London, the Kuuga manga is Saw 3.
Yep. I was
okay.
about to make that comparison.
That's good. That's a good analogy. Shoot.
Yeah.
All right.
I think it's the best way to sum it up, honestly.
Oh, and Zeltrax brought it up. Rest in peace, Ichiro Mizuki. Man.
Ichiro Mizuki passed just recently. He had announced that he had lung cancer, which made me sad because anytime a singer gets lung cancer, that just sucks because if they survive it, they won't be able to sing the way they used to. But he did unfortunately pass. He did make one public appearance recently, which was his last public appearance. But I'm glad he got to do it.
Which was just on topic on the stream. Do you know that he sung the Transformers Zone opening?
He did. He did do the
Is that
Transformers Zone opening.
It's actually one of my favorite Japanese Transformers songs. I love Zone's opening.
Let's see. Can I do this correctly here? No, I can't.
Yeah, he did Orb's opening.
I was trying to play the Orb opening for a moment.
For only 2 seconds, just DMC. Look at DCA.
For Ichiro Mizuki, we play the Orb theme, and
Oh, we're gonna talk over it, so
we'll talk over it, but we'll play the Orb theme briefly here. We gotta at least get to a part where he's singing.
Muteki T, do you like Hurricane Red's new super form?
Anyways, last known Ichiro Mizuki, he's literally done so many songs that if you spent any time into Tokusatsu or anime, you've heard of one of his songs, and he is a legend that will never be forgotten. And everyone go listen to his cool Ultraman album he did.
Yeah, his Ultraman, the Mazinger.
He did an Ultraman tribute album that did all the Showa songs and everything. Great stuff.
He sung all the versions of the. He done like some of his updates of the Mazinger Z opening is beautiful. I love
the one he did for Infinity was my favorite.
I love the Infinity theme.
All right. Back to
questions.
chat questions. Yeah.
Do you like Hurricane Red's new super form?
I guess it's kind of neat. I want to see it in action. Just seeing the picture on the posters, I'm like, is it going to do anything?
I still have bias to the Tri-Battleizer from Ninja Storm.
Yeah.
Let's see, Biton. Poor question, but am I the only one that wants a new Armada Energon Optimus? I want a new Armada Energon Optimus.
I would like new everything.
I will be right there to defend Energon Optimus. I know people call him fat, but like, damn, I don't care. He's just.
They could make a fun if they want to go crazy. Make his limb robots have robot modes.
I would love that, but that'll probably get a nightmare to engineer to that.
Most likely.
But no, I love Energon Optimus. Armada, just all the Unicron Optimuses I love so much.
I want a proper Galaxy Force Optimus.
Don't remind me of that shameful thing in Siege.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Is Suicide Squad even still a service game? I hope. Is it still?
I got no idea. I know Gotham Knights started as a service game and then changed direction because of Avengers not being well received for being a service game. Which also Gotham Knights should have just been a service game because it would have been less frustrating. I'd be like, oh, I'm supposed to play this with other people. They advertise Gotham Knights as a single player experience, but if you play with less than 2 people, it's just a nightmare, not worth playing. They overloaded the enemies too badly, and then the combat's not good enough to balance it out. And that's my problem, because I don't want to play Gotham Knights with other people I don't know. And yeah, that sucks. And I think Ryan blipped out of existence.
No, I'm still here. I'm just reading chat. I'm just trying to find questions for chat. Kamen Jojo. I want the I want the Spider-Man manga in the U.S. It's too dark, so I don't know.
We're starting to get. There's Viz just signed a deal for some Marvel mangas. There's like a Wolverine one coming up that I put on my playlist.
I have an X-Men manga. I bought it years ago.
Yeah, X-Men's really popular in Japan.
Here's a fun fact. You know the mangaverse from the Marvel's mangaverse is actually not written by any mangakas at all.
Yep. It's all Marvel people.
It's all Marvel people think what anime is.
Yep.
Oh god.
We'll do a couple more questions before we go on to the other Hasbro toy news that I wanted to talk about.
Is the Kuuga manga any like Black Sun or Amazon?
It's more like Amazon's than Black Sun. I mean, I like Amazon's because it was basically just a completely different story than the original Amazon.
Black Sun is a masterpiece. So
like I said, American Werewolf in London versus Saw 3.
Kamen Jojo. I heard the Kamen Ryuki and Five Elves are messed up.
Yep. A lot of Kamen Riders printed material should honestly just be left buried because oh god, there are some I think the Ryuki one's got some really bad stuff in it.
Omega Ender Prime, for the PI anime, really a rape scene?
Yeah, there was one in the manga.
Is that the scene where that one kid tried to strip Tokime?
Yeah, it was much worse in the manga.
Oh boy. Oh god. Let's see. Hey, Soundout. Wait, hold. You need to do Armada Jetfire and Overlook for Legacy Armada Prime. I hope they do.
I think they will.
I imagine.
They'll just be 3 separate releases.
I don't think they're coming out in Evolution, but I think they're probably future-proof. They're probably going to future-proof Optimus.
Yeah.
If they ever do those.
It shouldn't be too hard because all you got to do is make sure he's got a connector for a backpack and just use the same waist system for him and Jetfire.
Yeah, because that's the thing with figure design is they always even if something does not come out, they always future-proof figures to make sure nothing will happen.
Yep.
What character got the dirtiest in IDW 1 Transformers?
Starsaber.
Yep, I hate.
I love the Zero hesitation there.
Zero. I'm just like, no, Starsaber's done the worst. I did not like that portrayal.
I hate religious zealot. Like, why would you turn the most heroic characters and the best fodder in all Transformers into a religious zealot?
Yep, did not like that.
Starsaber should be an Earthspark. Imagine him and John with the Mottels family. I want to see them together.
That would be amazing.
Yeah, we got a human mother, human fan.
Maybe we could get a Star
mother-
Saber Earth Spark toy. That would be affordable for people.
Yeah, you get your we got the human family with two Transformers kids. Have the Transformers father with a human kid. I want that
Yeah.
interaction.
That'd be fun. What else we got?
John should have come with Haslab Star Saber. Damn it!
We
Replace
need more humans and Transformers, please, in toy
I'm
lines.
glad. I'm actually really glad we're getting dying and those big that'll be the only reason why I'll pick up those two big gimmick Optimus and Bumblebee beasts is to get those two. Do we need a DC manga universe like Marvel? Was there, because there was manga Batman? Was there any other manga DC stuff?
Hold on, I'm pulling it off the shelf. Stand by as Soundout pulls an example off the shelf. They tried. Batman in the Justice League was only a few years old. It did so poorly in Japan, it was canceled after Volume 4. It did so poorly in the US that the English versions were canceled after Volume 3.
Ouch.
We never got the fourth one translated. I bought it all. I tried making this happen.
What's the roster in these books?
Basically the Justice League movie roster. So Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman. They threw in Green Lantern.
Is that Jessica Cruz?
Flash. Nope, that's Hal.
That's how. Oh, that was Jessica Cruz because for a distance.
Yeah, no, Hal's fighting Reverse Flash. Sinestro was there. They fought Ocean Master. Joker adopted a Japanese teenager. Batman got a Japanese teenager sidekick. It was certainly a thing.
It always feels like that DC has a more harder time getting it out into Japanese markets versus Marvel.
If it's not Batman, it doesn't go well.
I think maybe this is because DC characters are very rooted in U.S. culture that they're less harder to adapt to Japanese culture like Marvel characters can.
Manga Joker terrifies me.
It's funny because I think is the problem the manga is it just literally just a Justice League story but in manga form? Is that the problem with them?
Basically, because they just introduce things progressively. Like they have these two Japanese kids who are the entry points. One's a hero, one's a villain, and they have a new Japanese style villain who looks like a kabuki theater guy. And then it's then Ocean Master shows up, and they beat him, and Sinestro shows up.
Qualified.
Yeah, and so they just kind of go through one thing. Oh, here's Green Lantern. Oh, Flash has shown up. They never published the last volume in English.
You know what I want? I want a manga or anime based on the Play Arts Kai DC designs.
These almost look like the Play Arts Kai designs in this manga.
Oh no, there's a full Batman that looks like he's in Monkai Knight armor.
Yeah, I have the Hawkman and the Wonder Woman. The Play Arts designs are great.
Those are what I think of wacky Japanese anime DC designs.
Yeah, DC keeps trying anime and manga, but it just hasn't stuck. Marvel anime tried for a short bit, and it didn't stick either.
But it didn't stick, but at least they tried. Yeah, in those cases.
Hey, 3 shows and 2 movies is pretty good.
Well, because you count Discourse or Future Avengers, they have all.
Oh right, yeah, I forgot about Discourse, Future Avengers. The way that Madhouse did a bunch of the direct-to-video Marvel movies, like Hulk versus. Yeah.
That was Madhouse? I thought they only did Avengers Confidential and Rise of Technovore.
No, they did Hulk versus, and I think. Yeah, no, they did a few. I'm gonna look it up right now.
I just think Japan just likes Marvel more.
Yeah, I know Hulk versus was not it was not done to be anime. It's just they happened.
It was just anime by Japan. It was just just commissioned animation studio.
Why is there no Wikipedia page for it? That's weird. Maybe because it's under the separate names. Yeah, because Marvel Wiki. Hold on, let me do Hulk versus Thor. Alright. Yeah, see, there's a Google page for it, but there's not a... Anyways, in the credits, it's hey, it was animated by Madhouse. So they did some more stuff like that. Yeah. I also Marvel, Will brought up in the chat. Marvel has benefited Stan Lee pushing for them to be out in Japan. Yeah, they've been having Marvel stuff since the 70s, whereas DC in Japan was like the Bat manga. I think 66 Batman ended up over there. 89
Yeah.
Batman did. It's only been Batman that's really made it to Japan. Superman's just not a character you can really do in
He's
Japan.
he's a America.
He's more America than Captain America.
Enough.
Yeah.
Because I think Captain America, like, he's just a soldier for America, where
Right.
where Superman represents America, kind
He
of
was
thing.
he was grown and raised in the heart of America in the Midwest, so he is a Kansas boy through and through. It's just how he is. Okay,
Yeah,
should we go?
Conversation
Yeah.
with English on Marvel Discourse is lost. Technically, like, it's not fully lost, but like
Someone has it,
it's
but we'll
pretty-
never see it.
But it's pretty bad quality. It's like, very like poor
Yeah.
quality screen reporting. But yeah, I feel like because Capcom versus games get Marvel boosted long. Yep, the Capcom versus game.
That was
helped
also
Marvel's
because the
top-
Capcom versus games happened because X-Men's popularity, because they brought the 90s X-Men over to Japan, gave it the most kick-ass opening of all time. And then it blew up X-Men. It blew up X-Men in Japan, and that's how we got X-Men versus Street Fighter and Children of the Atom and Marvel Superheroes and all that other stuff.
Marvel superheroes. Which, by the way, when that Jada Toys Ryu figure comes out, you need to recreate the intro with Cyclops and Ryu doing the handshake.
I will do a lot of stuff when those figures come out, because they're amazing.
You just had to slide in the handshake.
Yep.
But yeah, should we get to our next topic?
We should. I'm going to link a thing in a moment here. Here. If anyone's never seen the Japanese X-Men openings, enjoy. They're amazing. Their new animation and everything. I love it.
I think I like the second opening a bit more, but the first opening is still like a banger. I love the cry for the moon.
Muteki T asked if we're going to official release of RID 2001 or Car Robots. No.
I see car robots more than RID.
Yeah, RID's locked up in legal trouble, but
because of Disney.
Yeah. But speaking of X-Men, Hasbro revealed a bunch of X-Men Marvel Legends last week, and I want to talk about them. This is my live stream, and we're going to talk about X-Men if I want to.
X-Men.
So I wanted to talk about these because if you're not following Marvel Legends, some of these prices might shock you, and if you are following Marvel Legends, these prices might shock you. I wanted to approach this subject not just to go, oh, hey, look at the toys I'm going to buy, but more so in the sense of, all right, let's talk about price value algorithms.
I'll be honest. This is your canceling for money.
Yeah, essentially, this is me justifying purchases here. Yeah, Hasbro gone a little crazy with their gosh, how do I get this to pull? There we go. I'm trying to get both OBS to stay open and also my Windows so I can look at what I'm looking at. So Blob here is $56. Which
I mean, so deluxe figure, yes, big, a lot of plastic and fat, yes, but like, $50 worth. That's the thing.
56. I will say that as someone that owns the original Blob Marvel Legends figure, I'm totally buying. Should I grab Blob off the shelf?
I mean, he's gonna be.
I'm gonna grab him.
You're gonna replace. Yeah, you're gonna replace him anyways, so might as well.
Well, in a few months, I'm just gonna move a couple figures here and grab them off the shelf. Fun story. Blob was the first Build-A-Figure I ever finished. Way back when. Let me switch over my camera.
Wasn't he the first Hasbro Marvel?
He's the second after Annihilus.
Second.
Anyways, here's Blob. You guys notice here that they actually did a lot of the same things design-wise with the new one, where he's got like kind of
it's a completely new figure because they probably don't even have
completely new figure. But the freckles and the dots in his legs are still on the new one. But if you notice with this original guy, he is like really, really obese looking.
I forget.
Does anyone remember Austin Powers and Fat Bastard? Because every time I see this figure, I think of Fat Bastard.
That's in my belly. Here's a question I always have with the Blob figure. Was he a pure Hasbro like creation, or was he like a leftover Toy Biz mold that they decided to release?
I
That's the
don't
thing,
think it's
'cause a
ever
lot of
been
those-
stated, but he just like those early Hasbro legends, they feel like
because that's the
Toy
thing.
Biz.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Because a lot of those early Hasbro figures are actually not made by Hasbro. They were leftover. They were Toy Biz figures that they carry
Also,
over because
guys,
they
look at his
got the
butt.
license.
He has a really defined butt.
Um,
Anyways,
'cause I think like
this figure is like grossly obese, I think, for Blob. I think
yeah,
it
because
doesn't do him
the
well.
the Blob is a fat man, yeah, but he's not
But
this
he's
kind
not
of
like
fat
this.
fat rolls,
Yeah.
like fat rolls and everything.
This is really unflattering for Blob as a character because I can't think of comic art where he looks like this besides the Ultimate Universe, and the less said about that the better.
Because you know what it reminds me
Yeah.
of, because it reminds me of X-Men Origins Wolverine, because wasn't he just a fat dude in X-Men
He
Origins
wasn't even
Wolverine?
this
Not
fat in that movie. Like he wasn't like this is just going overkill.
He just looks like yeah. This is just they just see all they it's one of the things where the sculptor's told, all right, the main gimmick of this character is he's fat. Like, he's
Yeah.
a fat obese man.
This doesn't look like
that's his
Blob.
power.
Like Blob is an overweight dude. He's a big dude because that's like part of his mutant power is that he's like indestructible, right? But he's a big guy. But he's not like looks like he's about to like keel over from like a horrible like disease that has afflicted his body. Which is what this looks like.
Yeah,
This is a very
I-
poor portrayal of the character because it looks like he looks completely unhealthy where he's supposed to be like large but he's still kind of a healthy guy. This just looks wrong.
He looks like that Futurama episode where Bender became human and got really fat at the end.
Yes.
Yeah.
It looks like
Yeah,
a
'cause when I think
parody of a fat person as opposed to a larger sized person portrayed into an action figure. And that's
when
why
I think of the
it's kind of like it's weird to say this is like fat shaming the action figure.
Yeah, because when I think of the Blob, Freddy, I think of like the gentle giant he is in like X-Men Evolution. Evolution.
You see him in any of the animation,
that's
he doesn't
what it
look like this. Doesn't look like
The
this in the
closest you
comics.
get, the closest you get is at Wolverine X-Men, where he looks kind of like that, but even then, like not
Yeah.
much.
The other thing too, this is the point I was going to make. They said that the new one is about the same size as the Build-A-Figure. So
And he's a big figure, isn't he? Like
he's
a big
huge.
figure.
Like here he is next to Bullseye. So this is a very large figure. And the newer one has this benefit called articulation that works.
Yeah,
Because
because the old figure, I think the one that could tell he was a old Toy Biz mold. He has the really horrible ball
really horrible ball hips, barely any elbow movement.
hips.
His torso moves just laterally. Whereas the new one, he's got like a full ball hinge thing. This guy doesn't have knees. His legs are just solid. And you can't pose him. There's no posability here, despite all these joints, which is a problem with Toy Biz Marvel Legends. But so I'm looking at this and I'm like, yeah, I have this Build-A-Figure, but boy, do I want this new one because he looks so much better. See if I can get them. So you guys can see it. Like if I just do this. you
Also,
can compare.
I really don't like the face sculpt of the old Legends Blob. He looks very creepy looking.
This looks like the blob that ate the wasp in the Ultimate Universe. And I don't like that.
Yeah,
Because that was one of the worst
Yeah.
things to ever happen in comics. And I'm sorry I just told a bunch of people on the stream that happened. It was awful. Okay.
Ultimatum was bad.
Ultimate Comics had some good stuff, but Ultimatum was not one of them.
Well, again, as people point out, the best part of Ultimate was Spider-Man and Miles Morales.
Yep. And the early part of the Fantastic Four run. The early part was good, but some of the later stuff. Anyways, so for me,
And Greg Land.
$56 for a new blob that can actually articulate, I think I'm in. Especially because he's got alternate hands. I don't like his. I don't like his screaming head though.
You ever seen the weird blob figure for the X-Men Origins Wolverine toy line?
Yes. Yeah, it's not great. But anyways, so this is the thing I've noticed with Marvel Legends though. He's the same price as Mojo.
And Mojo, I think,
Let me
is
grab
worth the
Mojo.
$50 because he's. I think Mojo's worth the $50 because he is such a big figure, but also because it's Mojo, he's weird. He comes with a lot of stuff for design.
Yeah, so here's Mojo, right? And then let's look at the size of Blob. I mean, they're in the same size class. You know, but the thing is, here's the difference between the we're just gonna pretend Build-A-Figure Blob is new Blob, okay? Mojo, $56, but there's 2 releases of him. This is the box set one, and then there's a single release. Blob is only going to get released once, as far as we know. There's not like a second one coming, so he's
I
going
mean,
to be.
and there's no other, and I don't think there's really much costumes Blob has.
Outside, unless they want to make his like Hawaiian shirt. I run a bar on an island, Krakoa version. There's really not much else they could do with Blob.
That's probably exclusive if they're gonna do that.
If they were to do it, I think the reason why these 2 are the same price is because they're both unique figures, but Mojo got used twice.
Parts.
There's no reused parts on either of these, but Mojo gets 2 releases, Blob's only getting 1. So they've offset the cost by charging $56 for Blob.
But Mojo is one of those things where it's like they release it twice to justify the cost of making that figure, but also don't want to like cheat people out for not getting the figure. So if they don't want the multi-pack,
the 4-pack is a huge price commitment. So I'm glad they offered it.
But Mojo, it's not like the Pudgy Pig situation where it was like I question what was the point. Mojo, I see the point of releasing him in both ways.
Yep. So, anyways, when we're talking about prices, you know which one we don't complain about is let's see where she at. Let's talk about Rogue.
My favorite comments from Will. The figure was made by someone who hates the character.
That's what it feels like because it's the most unflattering figure for him. All right, so now we have Outback Rogue or 80s Rogue. She's a normal $25 figure.
I like the head sculpt, but I hate the body because it's so generic.
That's the costume. That's literally how it looks in the comic. It's one of the most boring costumes, but I want it because I wanted her to go with my 80s X-Men.
I wanted to make the figure of Rogue's current outfit because I really like his current outfit in the current run of X-Men.
Mm-hmm.
Because it just screams because it just feels like for me like I wish this figure should have been in a multi-pack because there's literally no point of buying this figure on his own because
the problem is we already have all the other Outback X-Men. Like they finished. This is a team finisher. What do you pack her with? Because there's nobody else that we need for this team era.
Problem, I guess.
Yeah,
I guess because maybe some accessories then most like
this is the problem with Rogue too, right? Her powers: flight, super strength, steals powers. What is she supposed to come with?
If she's a figure meant to complete collect, I think she should have come with accessories for the other figures. Then
there's nothing missing. Storm came with everything she should have. Wolverine's got his stuff. Dazzler's got her stuff. Colossus is set up. There was really nothing. This is one of those cases of like, I think they just went, well, here's your Rogue because we don't have anything left to do.
Yeah, I guess so.
I would have liked 2 different heads though. I would have liked another hairstyle. This one is like stable. Yeah. They should have gave her an unstable. I realize I didn't switch the screen to see Rogue in the full screen. I'll do that in a moment. I just got the 80s hair Elektra. I think we could have gone a little more 80s hair with Rogue. I don't know. Elektra balanced out.
Kind of the problem. I guess that's always kind of the problem with these figures are only meant to complete a team kind of figures. It's like, well, they're only meant to just complete a team, but they had to sell them the same price because that's the rule. So like,
because you don't want to sell a fig. See, the thing is, if they sold her for 23, like the old price, then everyone's like, they can just do that. When you set a base price, you got to go with the base price. Yeah, it's just like nothing's getting below 25. It's like Super 7 figures. Nothing's getting below 55.
I see. That's the same thing where like I see people like, why couldn't they just sell Clip Jumper at the Earthrise Clip Jumper for a smaller price? We will pay for that because they don't want to confuse store. I think that's the thing people don't understand.
Transformers are done in price points. You don't get to don't get to mix and match prices. And then also with Transformers, and this is another factor people keep forgetting. A lot of these big companies do budgets by wave. So if something like, for example, Hoist is a bigger figure and Cliff Jumper is a smaller one, that balances out the cost.
Also, I imagine stores will probably really dislike that only one thing's at that price point, so they had to waste a whole peg for just one figure.
A whole SKU. It really messes with them. With the online exclusives, we see some more variation in pricing, like Rogue Here's Fan Channel. But yeah, there's no reason to sell her cheaper because then it'll set a precedent that they could. But also, you can tell that they were strapped for ideas for poses because there's this weird photo in it.
question for the Iggy guy who just joined. Are you getting the Vision driver?
Likely not, because money.
Mhm.
Too much toy collecting, and if I was doing the entire Geats line and reviewing it, I'd be all over it. But I'm glad it's getting a US release. I would like it. It's cool, but I don't know if I can afford it, because I know it's going to be like $130 or something. It's really pricey.
Mm.
I would like that. I would like that belt, but I don't think I can afford it. I still haven't gotten myself a Desire driver. I do really want one of those.
I want to get those. I want to get the Revolve change figures.
Yeah. So I think that's about enough on Rogue. I'm gonna get her because Outback Team finisher. Hooray. All right, so let's talk about Hasbro committing to a bit here. With the blue and yellow 3-packs.
Mm.
So there are 2 3-packs coming out. We've got one with Gambit, Banshee, and Psylocke, and we got one with Storm, Forge, and Jubilee. And these...
Is that a new Forge from the...
That is a new
That's
Forge.
A new Forge. Alright, because I have the old Bucky Cap mold Forge.
Yeah, so this is a new Forge. I guess we can kind of go through them one by one. Psylocke here is on the new body. I'm glad to see all of these are using the new female body with the double jointed elbows. Because I can't go back to the old one now. We've gone to the double jointed elbows. Everything needs to be done on this. We can't go back. No backwards to single elbows anymore. I say this, except there's another one I'll talk about later. But
also from the Iggy guy. Also, if you want to know more about the U.S. Deca driver release, the main Deca driver set has the record card, but the individual ride card set does not.
That does line up with what I've been seeing. That if you got like the K-Touch combo, you most likely got the Rekka card, and then like the individual card set and the driver without the K-Touch, not so lucky. But there is some K-Touch sets that didn't have it. I think they caught the mistake of packaging them with the Rekka cards too late, and so a bunch of them got out with them, and then later ones didn't. It's a mess. I wish Team Rider would say anything about it.
Might be a legal thing, is my guess.
They may not be able to. Bandai was probably like, "Don't tell anybody. This never happened." So anyways, Psylocke here looks good. She's a new body ish because she's using the Shriek body, I think.
No man, I would pay to have a new classic leotard Psylocke on the new body so badly.
I think it'll happen. They're doing Dark Phoenix again.
I mean, because she doesn't carry it with swords, and like a character with only one double joint, only one joint elbow is bad with swords.
I do like the new head on this Psylocke. I'm still holding out for the 80s one with like the poofy sleeves. And then also, yeah, they should make Betsy Captain Britain because she's awesome and would make a cool action figure. But yeah, no, this Psylocke looks good. Banshee's probably the one that got the most attention because they've not made a Banshee before in the modern line.
Like he's the exclusive to the set.
So far. Now, they already basically all but said that the regular green costume one's coming.
Where's the bonus whistle? Like the original Toy Biz toy.
Oh god, the whistle. Yeah, no, I think Banshee looks good. He looks good in the blue and yellow. I'll get him in blue and yellow and in green when they make that. Hopefully the green one's not too hard to get. Another thing with this mold, unlike the old Cyclops with the straps that would slide off the legs, these straps are molded into the legs. So they actually
molded or glued on.
They're molded in. Like it's part they're breaking the sculpt, which is really good. And then basically using a similar body is Gambit. His bag looks tiny, it's funny.
So that's the thing. Do you think this is worth the $80, this 3-pack, compared to like 60 from before?
So if we're looking at current prices, this would be a $75 set. Why are these $78? I have no idea. I can't explain why this set's $78. Yes, there's new parts, but 2 of these are using the same mold. And pretty much NECA Phantom of the Opera just went up for pre-order on Big Bad Toy Store.
Don't tell, no!
Fill time! I need my Lon Chaney. Scheduled for August 2023. God, I love toy collecting. Freaking ordering stuff for my birthday next year. Alright, it's done. I want to get in because I want that figure as soon as I can get it. And whether I find it at Target or I get it at Big Bad. Alright, anyways. back to the topic at hand. I don't think these are worth $78. They're fan channel, so where's the extra $3 coming from? Because I mean, Banshee's got 2 new heads and new collar on the new wings, but those are going to get reused. The Psylocke's a new head. The Gambit's a new head. But why is it $3 more? Same thing going over here to the other 3-pack, because we'll just do this for posterity. Storm, using the same body as Psylocke. Reusing the electric finger head. New head on her. Looks great. I love Storm, so, I'm all for it.
I think the problem with these.
Let me roll through the other ones. Jubilee is the same head sculpts from the previous one, except now they're photo real, so they look better. I'm going to put one of these on the Trenchcoat Jubilee and one of these on here. She's in a different body mold because she's in the smaller teenage body. And then Forge is on the new body mold. But the weirdest thing happened with his leg, where his leg has a visible pin on the metal part, where everything else is not visible, so I guess the leg's partially reused from the previous Forge. But he's not in the Bucky Cat body, he's on this new X-Men body. Butterfly shoulders, mostly non-visible
body,
pins.
Right?
It's not the Vulcan body. It's a variation of the Vulcan body with the straps included. They used it on the animated Morph figure and the animated Cyclops. And they've used it here. But anyways, I think the new head on Forge also looks great. So the question is, why are these like $78 instead of just a straight 75? I don't know.
I think the problem here is the fact that you are practically getting 2 figures that have the same body is why the price feels iffy in so many people. Yep. And they're all individual bodies, all of them are unique bodies at least. I don't think it's less notable since you're getting figures with the same suits. It just feels like for a lot of people like see it as like I'm pretty getting the same figure twice but with different parts on them. So, is why I think the price is such a big iffy on some.
I think I know why they're priced at 78. Because Wolverine's by the way, Wolverine was already announced. He's coming out at a retail figure on a retro card. He was the starter of this team. So this team is based on a single issue of the comic. This is the other part. They did not wear these costumes that long. They're essentially quote-unquote training costumes for the X-Men.
Weren't these in a lot of covers?
They used them in a lot of covers. There's a very famous cover. Let me just pull it up here. Uncanny X-Men 275 is the famous cover that these appear on. Which it was this big issue, and it was this giant gateway cover. Hang on, I gotta adjust the OBS here. It was this giant gatefold cover in the 90s, and they wore them in this issue, I believe, but I don't know how long they lasted beyond this. this whole, the 2 3-packs plus the Wolverine make for this cover. The only thing we're missing is Professor X and his giant gold sarcophagus helmet that I don't understand the context of still. This is a famous cover. It's worth doing because you can do a lot of reuse and get some new heads out of it. But does everybody need this? No. If you're looking for Banshee, just wait, because they'll make the normal Banshee later. If you're a hardcore X-Men person that wants every era of the team, like me, I ordered all these. Because I'm a sucker for X-Men. But only because my entire X-Men display is built around eras. It's like, here's this incarnation of the team with this one, and this one, and this one. So...
It's funny because I think for the X-Men uniforms, why these so popular, why they're making these figures plus because they've done these outfits before in other both toy lines and previously in Legends, is because they're the most famous team outfit. Because I think every time they ever try to do team outfits, they don't look great. And meanwhile, these ones are probably the most iconic team outfits they've done in X-Men.
I'm thinking this is like the one time they had matching costumes after the original Stan Lee Jack Kirby run.
Yeah, I think it's why these costumes are so famous. Because even though they're a one issue, it's like one of the few team outfits X-Men had that actually looks decent.
Yep, and I think that's why they did it. And I'm also but I think them coming as a single card and 2 3-packs is them knowing that.
It's a very niche audience.
Very niche audience. for these, and they're all fan channel, all of them. So I think they know that these are going to be a niche audience, but they can't drag this out for years like they do any other team. And also, adding to all of our theories, these are part of the X-Men 60th anniversary line with Blob. So they get maybe the $3 is the anniversary pricing.
Yeah, that's the case. I mean, for me, like, it'll never happen because I don't think they would never do it. I love Evolution figures of like even if it's not Evolution style, I at least want the orange Wolverine costume, the Cyclops costume.
Yeah.
That's my favorite Cyclops costume, and such.
I
like
would love
that.
some Evolution love, but maybe they got to get over their 90s X-Men animated series kick first.
They've been on it for years. But that's I think
I'm
yeah,
gonna
that's the name
move
of
us
these.
on to the next figures in a minute. I think we I don't know. Is there anything else to really say about the blue and yellow?
Not much besides it's just the price that was the big HVG with these guys.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about other things I'm not buying. Let's talk about things I'm not buying. That's a good transition point. There's an animated series, Kraven the Hunter, for those that celebrate.
I have Last Stand Kraven, and this is literally Last Stand Kraven with new paint, so
I
don't need it.
I have Last Stand Kraven on the old body. I put his head on the old body, and that made a good Kraven. This is cool for those that want the animated series stuff. It's I think it's a Walmart exclusive or something.
It's interesting because they're not doing the cell shading on him. It's literally just Kraven, but with
none
the
of
animated series color scheme.
the only cell shading on the Spider-Man figures, Spider-Man animated figures, is
The
Venom.
symbiotes.
Yeah, even the symbiotes don't have it on the Carnage and Spider-Man pack.
I thought the Spider-Man had the blue shading he has in the show.
He's got a light. It's a light shading, and that's about it. It's not as heavy as the X-Men stuff. I am excited about the Spider-Man 2 Spider-Man. Who's a new mold.
I'm getting this one. I'm getting this one because that's the fully brand new, not just using the Sunfire body. Because the original figure they made, the tie-in with the first Insomniac game, barely look like the suit in the game.
They made that figure a GameStop exclusive because they weren't sure if that game was going to do well. No one was.
It was a quick cash-in figure, pretty much.
Yep, this is definitely going to go look really great next to the Miles Morales they made that was also a unique mold. And I'm excited.
The head, my biggest problem with the original figure was the head because it was just the UK head, which does not match the proportions of Peter in the game.
My only problem with this figure is he doesn't come with a grip hand to hold that web line he comes with.
That same web line they've been using since the Amazing Spider-Man 6-inch figure.
All these accessories have been around too long. I like that it comes with all the web effects, but I know the reason why they don't include a ton of hands of Spider-Man is because the paint budget, due to the backs of Spider-Man's hand and all the web lines, have to be painted.
And these ones are even worse because they have the big white.
Yeah, they have the big white part on top of it. I would really like them to stop using fists on Spider-Mans.
Well, here's the thing, because you want fun to punch your enemies, but enemies also, so it's like.
But if I have the trade-off of having a grip hand to hold the web line as opposed to a fist, I take that because the grip hand could also be used as a fist in photography.
I mean, for me, I think for some figures they should just stop doing pairs sometimes, because maybe like one web swinging hand, web swinging hand,
that's what they've done here. Is it has one web swinging, one crawling hand.
Oh yeah, because I think
also, how many times does Spider-Man left hand punch somebody? Maybe the left hand could be a grip, the right hand a punch, and then one crawling and one whipping hand.
That's always the problem with Spider-Man figures, because since Spider-Man's so famous for using his fist for everything, you can't. It's hard to give him everything you need because he always needs to have a flip hand, but you also want to have him with either a splayed out hand for either wall crawling or his cool hand poses, or fist to punch enemies, or holding things, or Wesley. It's a mess for Spider-Man because he does so much. But yeah, he's the hardest to include all because of the pain on the budget because of the web lines.
Yep. All right. Oh, you know what? Muteki T had a great idea. Do a poll. Grip hand or fist hand?
Or fist hand.
All right, let's do that. Let's see. Ask a question. What should Spider-Man have? Fist, grip. Ask your community. All right. Poll is up. We'll talk about this for another minute. The other thing I was going to say in regards to Spider-Man 2 is that the pages have existed now, I think, on PlayStation stores. They popped up on UK and US PlayStation, and we're getting a Spider-Verse trailer tomorrow. So let's find out what happens. I don't know.
Where-
I don't know
I
when we're
still
going to get
want-
more news on this game. I thought with them revealing this last Tuesday, we did it at the Game Awards.
But nope.
But no, the only Marvel news at the Game Awards was... Wait, there wasn't any.
There wasn't any.
There
we
was
got
none.
we got a Hellboy game, which looks
We did get
really
a Hellboy
nice.
game. Anyways, yeah. So the video game Miles is great. This is great.
Whatever happened to the Penny Spider 2-pack? I just like waiting for that thing to come out because I want
No idea.
them.
I have no idea what happened to the Penny and Spider 2-pack for Spider-Verse. That one just blipped out of existence. I'm going to run the poll for one more minute just for the sake of time. But yeah, I mean, Spider-Man 2, we should get getting news now because now we got a figure. We got, placeholder pages. I don't know. Maybe they'll debut a Spider-Man 2 trailer tomorrow with Spider-Verse and just try to dominate nerd culture with Spider-Man tomorrow. Sony loves to line things up like that. Okay, I'm going to give it, I think, all right, 30 more seconds on the poll, because I just want to close it so I can get a result. We got 13 votes. I'm just going to close it now. 3.
Well, it's the winner.
2. All right, there's 14 votes. It says I have 14 viewers, and we got 14 votes. I'm going to call it. Poll results. Pop up, please. Oh, wait, I got to do it on the YouTube page. I can't do it in OBS. All right, poll results. 50-50. I think that's why Marvel struggles with what they want to do with Spider-Man figures in hands. They can only include so many, and I don't think anyone... there's never going to be a perfect lineup. The closest we got was like Renew Your Vows or the Amazing Fantasy one, and those figures were $27 a pop. The good part about this Spider-Man is these fan channel.
For that toe articulation.
Love that toe articulation. That's why I got this Daredevil with that toe articulation. I don't need it for every character. I just need it for characters like Daredevil or Spider-Man.
Any acrobatic character should have that toe articulation.
Yeah, acrobatic characters should have the toe articulation.
Okay, Nightcrawler should have.
Yeah, Nightcrawler. Oh, God, I want another Nightcrawler. The fact we only have one Marvel Legends Nightcrawler is sad. Speaking of X-Men, I'm curious, audience, as I go through these, tell me if you even know who these characters are. All right.
X-Men, eggs a day.
All right, so first up we got Kid Omega, character that I know well from.
So these are all Generation X characters, right?
No, Kid Omega's newer. He started in the 2000s.
Well, most of this wave is Generation X, right?
Most of this wave is Generation X. So Kid Omega here, I like him. He was an annoying piece of crap when he first debuted. I'll tell you that much. But he's grown on me over time. He's an Omega level mutant. He's got psychic powers and stuff. He's got this cool he's got like the pink gun thing because he can do like psychic energy into weapons.
So Green Lantern
kind of like Green Lantern with powers. They went with his modern costume because that was the cheapest to do because it's just a black bodysuit with a new head. But it's a black bodysuit with not visible pins, so that's a positive. Yeah, I think he's a good pick. It's definitely one I'm going to get. Next up, we have Fang of the Shi'ar guard. I gotta shrink the window because it's cutting their heads off. Fang of the Shi'ar. It's funny because after this reveal, I'm trying to catch up on X-Men comics. I'm like a year behind, so I guess this isn't a spoiler. He's dead now.
Is he? Anyway,
he died a year ago, just so everyone knows.
Was this Richard Saber too? Because he's wearing the same outfit as him.
Wolverine actually wears this exact same outfit. I don't know the context. And people were like, oh, should include a Wolverine head. No, he shouldn't. This is a full-size person. Wolverine is a short-size person.
Not Hugh Jackman here.
Yeah, not Hugh Jackman. Anyways, does anybody know who Fang is? If you know who Fang is, put it in the comments. Because I know who Fang is. And then he died recently, and I was like, dang, that sucks, because Marvel seems to be slightly behind the power curve. But anyways, I'll get Fang. I don't mind Fang. New character. You can go hang out with Gladiator. Chamber. Chamber's up next. If you know who Chamber is, put it in the chat. Chamber is a Generation X guy. He is totally kind of this cool, like, I think he has the coolest visual of a power. His face is constantly exploding, and he has to have it concealed, like how Cyclops has to have his eyes concealed, because otherwise it can just damage everything around him. And this guy always wears leather, which is just such a smart idea.
So that's
for a fire
new,
dude.
That's a new mold, right? That whole like the jacket look. That's
the
a new
jacket
mold?
is new. The arms I think are new, and then the pants are reuse.
I first thought they salvaged the Robbie figure for these
because the Robbie mold actually was used for Longshot.
Oh really?
Yeah, Longshot's got his arms and legs. This is definitely different than what Robbie would have had, because the leather jacket's done is a different style. It's more button jacket. Robbie's is more of a racing jacket. Chamber's cool. I like Chamber. I think the visual of him is really awesome, and it makes for a good figure, for sure. All right, next up, Monet St. Croix. She is a Generation X character as well. They did her 90s costume, which makes me slightly sad because I really, really, really like her modern costume. Which I'm hoping, because they went with this one, they'll go and do her modern one. Because
I do like this costume also.
I do like this one too. But hold on, let me pull up the image of her modern costume so you guys can have an idea of what I'm talking about. Which I gotta keep adjusting. Her modern costume is really sleek. I love the color usage. I think it's great. But the difference is that she's had a double mutation thing going on, where she has a more monster state.
Sound, just let you know, we only have like a few minutes left on stream.
Yeah, we're gonna keep going because I want to talk X-Men. We're going over the time limit because I'm a nerd. Yeah, I just realized. Yeah, we're 3 minutes out from when we usually end, but we'll just keep going because I want to go through these. So, anyways, this modern version, she has a secondary mutation now, where she has a monster form that would only require a head and hands swap, but that also means way more tooling for a figure. So I think that's why they went with her
so it's not
90s outfit.
So it's not like Monster. Is it like Monster Girl from Invincible?
Not quite. It's more like remember Spider Carnage?
Yeah.
It's like that. It's just the head and hands is all that changes. But the second head for her pendant state has like crazy spiked hair, so it's going to be a lot of tooling as well. So I think that's why they went with this one. Hopefully we get the modern one, because I think the modern one is cool too. But I love this character, and I'm glad. Oh, I actually found the picture of her monster form here. I can show that real quick. I really do like this character a whole lot, and so for her to get a Marvel Legend is fantastic, because it checks another one off the mutant list of characters that have been around a while that aren't as well known. But I put her monster form up there on the chat, which yeah, that's going to require some extra tooling, but
the head alone does a lot of hair.
Yeah. She could be a deluxe figure, honestly. But yeah, I mean that's a good reveal too. I'm glad we're getting the 90s Monet. If we don't get the modern one, at least we got a Monet. Let's see. Next up, a little bit more well known. It's Scott Summers' dad. He is Corsair of the Starjammers.
I love you. You said that first, like that's his name.
I don't remember what his actual name is. I just always remember it was Corsair.
Yeah, when I first saw this, I thought we got him already, but I'm thinking probably a different character.
You're thinking of Pirate Deadpool?
Yeah.
Because he had the same color scheme and the same basic accessories.
It was either Pirate Deadpool or someone from one of the Guardian movie comic waves.
So yeah, we have not gotten Corsair before, ever, in Marvel Legends. He's appeared on X-Men the Animated Series. He's still kicking around with the Starjammers in the comics currently. I'm glad we finally got him. That's definitely one off the list as well.
So I don't know much about this character, so like when I first heard Scott Summers' dad, I'm like, wait, how'd this fit in with the whole Scott's family died in a plane crash kind of thing?
Scott's family died in a plane crash, but his dad went to space.
So like, was he not on the same plane as the rest, or was he abducted by aliens?
I don't remember, and I'd have to go double check, and I don't want to research this late into the stream. Yeah, so Corsair. If anyone knows him, name him. Yeah, I think he's been around. He's a long running character, so I think he's definitely worth being in this line for sure. Also, the speculation is the Build-A-Figure for this will be another Starjammer named Cha'ad. So keeping that synergy, like when they had Dark Star in the same wave as Ursa Major. I like that. Astonishing X-Men Emma Frost.
I was shocked when I revealed her because, like, oh my god,
I can't
Emma
believe
Frost
they
in
made
retail. I guess because this is her most
Oh my god, she's
outfit.
showing skin. The investors will be angry at us.
I guess because this one is showing less skin, they can release her in retail.
This is Pants Emma Frost, and Pants Emma Frost can be at retail. Because she's actually showing less skin than the Walgreens one. And this is like probably her most iconic outfit after her original, because she wore this one a lot.
It's funny because I think wasn't the original Hasbro Emma Frost with the horrible face skull, was that also based on the same costume?
It was based on the same costume, yes. So this is, and this one's more accurate because it's got the cape is attached to her her bodice. Gotta use official clothing terms so YouTube isn't angry at me. Anyways, the cape is lower as it should be. It's off the shoulders as opposed to being tied around the neck. This is also the closest we're going to get to a Wolverine in the X-Men Emma Frost.
Yep.
And she does have single jointed elbows, but that's okay because what does she need double jointed elbows for?
She's psychic. She's psychic.
She does psychic stuff. I was funny because my mom was like, wait, how does she do anything with the cape that low? And I was like, Mom, she's a psychic. And she's like, oh, right, I forgot. And I'm like, yeah, remember Wolverine the X-Men? And she's like, yeah, now I remember.
Now,
fun conversations because it's a really impractical costume for a superhero unless you're a psychic.
You think they're gonna do the crystal? Was it
the diamond
ice
form?
Yeah,
we'll probably see a diamond form, or probably some kind of weird exclusive.
Yeah.
It'll totally happen if it's too easy.
So definitely picking up this one since I need Emma in my collection.
Probably the best Emma we gotten, and people were like, "Oh, the face looks weird." I'm like, "Go look at the artwork."
Yep.
That's
hey,
just how she looks.
Anything's better than the very original Hasbro Emma Frost.
Yep. So I'm excited for her. And then lastly is Astonishing X-Men Cyclops.
This one I'm excited for because this figure, I love this costume, and this figure looks really good. Like, is this the Vulcan body?
Modification of the Vulcan body because they molded in the gold lines. So it's actually...
Oh, no, it's molded. It's not
new.
painted.
We're getting a lot of new molds now for Legends. They're starting to mold stuff in. I think G.I. Joe scared them. They're not cheaping out as much to paint things. They're just like straight up molding it.
They're not just using the bucket cap body over and over and over again.
Yeah, no, I'm so glad we have a Scott that's not in the bucket cap body.
Finally,
he's going to be the same size as Vulcan because he is a Vulcan size body. I think the only thing I don't like is the little trail of energy off his visor.
I like that it's an alternate head, but I don't want it to be permanent.
Yeah, I do like though that the visor blasting hand is an alternate option and not the only option.
Yeah, unlike a lot of Scott figures.
Yep.
But no, yeah, this is like I have the Scott figure for the new run of X-Men. And I like that costume, but the Astonishing X-Men is like my favorite costume of him.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really excited for this. Plus, he's on the new body and everything. The only thing really I would love to have is the trench coat for Wolverine the X-Men because that was Wolverine the X-Men design. It was really astonishing with a coat.
Honestly, it wouldn't probably be too hard of a custom to do because we have trench coats from Gambit.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so the teases. I'll ask the chat this. What do you guys think the golf club's for? Because no one's got an answer for that yet. I've been looking all around.
A Happy Gilmore figure.
Every answer is a non-Marvel character. I don't know any Marvel character that's known for having a golf club. The rose is likely the rose, and the little creature there should go with Cha'ad, who should be the Build-A-Figure. But yeah, I don't know. Anybody got any ideas in the chat? Go for it, because I don't know what the golf club's for. And the last
Dr. Doom when he goes golfing with Reed to challenge him.
Dr. Doom on vacation, golfing trip.
Yeah. He has the helmet. He has the mask and helmet still on, the hood on, but he has a Hawaiian shirt on.
I mean, he does do stuff like that in the comics. He'll still wear the mask and the hood, but just wear a normal outfit. Anyways, last thing that got revealed this morning was Ronan the Accuser, who leaked out like a month or so ago, or 2 months ago.
I must say, I thought this got revealed already.
Yeah, I thought it did too, and then I realized that we just saw a back image leak because I checked my pre-orders recently. I have been wanting them to redo Ronan for years.
Honestly, they did Ronan. Was he an old Build-A-Figure
He
from
was
the
a
old,
he was
the olden days?
He was a Walmart exclusive Build-A-Figure. Let me pull up the picture of him.
Honestly, was that part where you, like, yeah, I think because they did it for one of the old, like the ye old Hasbro Marvel Legend.
Yeah, ye old
line.
Hasbro. They did a Fantastic Four wave, and they put Ronan in there. So here's what the old one looked like. And
That
I
was
thought,
the one that
I thought when they
was the
reissued
big-
Ares, they would just reissue this guy, and they didn't, and I was a little sad. But
Because that was the wave with that was the way to tie in with Rise of the Silver Surfer, I think, right?
yes, that was the one where it got us the one and only Mole Man figure. That's actually
Mama!
character selection wise, this is like a pretty solid. This is a pretty solid wave back in the day. Human Torch, Doctor Doom, Invisible Woman, Mole Man, Silver Surfer, Mr. Fantastic, Namor, and the Thing, and it builds Ronan. That's like the most solid Fantastic Four wave we ever had. But
Honestly,
a lot of these
even
figures
the
suck and they
toys-
haven't aged well.
That's the thing. A lot of these. Here's the weird thing about the ye old Hasbro Marvel Legend. The toys themselves are not good, but the way the
characters
selection
suck.
for the waves are.
Character selection
Like,
was good,
I'm
even if the figures weren't.
The Fing Fang Foom wave was like each figure was not good besides like maybe She-Hulk and such. But like that wave selection. I mean, it was like really the two waves because it was what it was like
It was
cut in
10
half. and
parts.
Fing
It
Fang
was
Foom-
10 parts to build it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
think
So
they'll-
I was gonna say,
you
so
think that's
old
the next-
Ronan can just go die. I don't care about old Ronan anymore. This new one's amazing.
You honestly, he looks more close to his Earth's Mightiest Heroes look for me.
He does. I like him a lot, and his hammer's really big. I'm
Actually,
glad I
speak
didn't
of-
pick up the
speak of-
MCU one now, because I was gonna get the MCU one and just put it in the shelf, and I never got around to it.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Where I will say with comic characters in the MCU, comic characters are gonna come eventually. We're gonna get a comic America Chavez eventually. It just we need to wait.
Yeah, I mean, there's some I'm
Uh,
still waiting on. God, it took us how long for comic Maria Hill?
I know, right?
6 years. I still
Um,
want a new comic Kate Bishop in one of her more modern looks, and not like the weird early Young Avengers one. But
Yeah, I know.
anyways,
right?
that's a whole side tangent for a different live stream.
Speaking of Fing Fang Foom, you think that could be the next Haslab Marvel giant they will do?
If we get another Haslab from Marvel, Fing Fang Foom I think would sell better. Also, here's the last thing I forgot there was another point I was gonna make. Ronan is a Amazon exclusive release, and he is going to be $38.99. So
That's more reasonable.
It's
That's
more
more reasonable, I
reasonable,
think,
and
'cause
he's also not a unique mold because they're reusing the upper arms are from Colossus, the legs are from somebody else. Actually, I think the legs are from Colossus too. Actually, yeah, no, down to the boots, that's the modern Colossus. So the upper arms and the legs are reused, and the rest is
I'm sorry,
new,
Chris Howley.
so.
You're at the end of the stream. I'm sorry.
Well, welcome to the stream. What did you miss? There's a lot of fun stuff, and once the stream is over, there'll be a replay available, and you can go through it. We talked about Haslab Deathsaurus, some Marvel Legends stuff. I reviewed a Kamen Rider Kuuga manga. So lots of good.
and we complain about Don Brothers.
And I complained about Don Brothers for a bit, in a loving way. But yeah, so anyways, I think I'll definitely pick up Ronan because I've wanted him. He can go with my Kree Sentry. Is that the only two Kree we have?
I think so. We're not counting like MCU stuff.
Yeah, not counting like Captain Marvel. Yeah, I think those are the only two Kree we got.
I will say for before we leave is everyone go to Netflix and watch Guillermo. I can never pronounce his name. Guillermo
del Toro's Pinocchio.
Movie.
I just don't need to
Have you
watch
seen
it. I
that
haven't
yet?
had time yet. I haven't had time yet.
It's a legitimately a beautiful film, especially near the end.
Yeah.
I cried. I like weeping tears watching that finale.
What is my media pick of the week of things to go watch? Muppet Christmas Carol is now in its complete form on Disney Plus. You have to go to the
complete
extras.
state.
Go to the extras section on the page to do it, but you can watch the complete version of Muppet's Christmas Carol without the deleted scene.
Question. I was say, is that it's on the extras? Is that like the whole movie with that scene, or is just
the whole movie
just
with
that
the scene added? Yeah.
Okay, good.
You just have to go select it separately.
Okay. Yeah, go watch it because that scene is a part of the movie.
Yep. The Muppets Christmas Carol is better with that scene than without, and it's a shame they got cut. But the complete version's there. It's now updated to 4K as well. It looks really nice. And that's about it for now. Oh, if you have Disney Plus, go watch this Mickey Mouse special.
The stop motion one?
There's a stop motion Mickey Mouse special, and see if you disassociate as bad as I did watching it, because it is done by the Robot Chicken people. And if it's not done by the Robot Chicken people, I'm convinced I had an aneurysm while watching it, because it looks like it's done by Robot Chicken people, because the way that the characters move just feels like Robot Chicken. Similar. Like, it feels like at any moment Santa Claus was going to murder Mickey Mouse and it was going to take a dark turn, and it never did for 25 minutes. It was just sweet and wholesome. But I felt like something horrible was going to happen at any moment because of the animation style. So, but it's good stop motion animation Mickey Mouse stuff. It's just it just looks like Robot Chicken. Like the way that the mouths move, the way that the characters are animated. It's weird. I don't even technically know if it is Robot Chicken, but it's got to be. It has to be.
That's your.
I don't even have to look it up. I know it is.
So that's your stop motion thing to recommend.
Go watch stop motion stuff this week. That's the homework assignment for next live stream. And if you don't want to watch stop motion, Doom Patrol Season 4 is on HBO Max. It's probably dead after this season because everything's dying at DC, but hey. Also, my face has gotten really red. I think it's gotten warm in here.
Yeah.
I just noticed that.
Merry Christmas.
Kaus, do you have any recommendations of things for people to watch?
Let's see here. What was I watching lately? There's plenty. Golly.
Your own streams don't count.
Yeah, we're promoting those in a minute.
No. Like so stuff people watch, man. Because I was watching quite a bit of stuff, and everything that I have now is old in my head, like Guy King.
Go watch Guy King. I think is Guy King still like streaming on Prime Video or Tubi or something?
It's on Tubi. Yeah,
it's on Tubi. Go watch Guy King. I like Guy King.
Just be wary of the some of the subtitles sometimes are
wonky.
Yeah.
Yeah. Should we plug and get out of here? We're 13 minutes over, but all right.
Yeah.
First up, Kaus, go for it. Plug.
Well, you can follow me on Twitch, twitch.tv/FighterKaus, FIGHTERXAOS. I've been up for more than 24 hours, I noticed, after doing the math, and so if I was like in and out, that's why. But tomorrow I won't be, and Soundout usually joins on Tuesdays.
Yes, I'm planning to.
On my Twitch. That's at 4 p.m. Eastern. We play.
If you want my full thoughts on the Game Awards, we'll talk about the Game Awards tomorrow on Kaus' stream.
Oh, we definitely will. Oh, yeah.
Oh, we got thoughts.
Try to cross-pollinate here. So, remember, if he's there, you go ahead. Like I'm giving, like I said before, I give you guys the go ahead to just ask him questions.
Yeah,
Tuesdays and Fridays.
The full thing, Tuesdays and Fridays at 4, right?
Thursdays, actually. Sorry.
Thursdays.
No. Starting
over.
In 2 weeks, it'll go back to Friday. Thursdays for now, Tuesday and Thursday, but starting after Christmas, it'll go back to Friday.
Yeah. Hang on, I'm trying to find Kaus' Twitch page so I can just link it into the chat so y'all can come by tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern, and we can talk about the Game Awards and other things.
So remember, Soundout will be there, and he will. And you guys can ask him whatever.
Yep, it'll be fun.
I won't even get mad.
And that's everything for Kaus, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
Because all my other information is on the Twitch page.
Yeah. You're up, Darklaw. What are you promoting?
Follow me at DarkClaw643 on YouTube and Twitter. I do art commissions like the ones you see on Sound's channel. If you want any, feel free to DM me.
Cool, that's simple. For me, all the things along the bottom of the screen here, the YouTube, the Twitter, the TikTok, the Instagram. I'm going to do more YouTube shorts. I've just been kind of busy and trying to figure out what to do because that Iron Man...
try to review Star Saber and a YouTube short.
God, I might do a promo for Star Saber. There's the Iron Man YouTube
By
short did insanely well.
you need music. You can find the victory music, the victory theme they use in those Haslab trailers for Starscream and Deathsaurus on YouTube. If you
That's
need
true.
any victory music,
But yeah, no, so there'll be more stuff on the channel. This week's videos. Wednesday, we're doing the Haslab Victory Saber review. And then Friday will be a video talking about Haslabs, because we'll have all the numbers in. And I'll be like, let's talk about Haslabs and how a bunch failed this year. And how to do things and how not to do things with giant crowdfunding is going to be the idea. And then rolling back around next Monday at 5 p.m. Eastern, we'll do another one of these streams. Who knows what the topic is, because I kind of decide that the day of.
Well, it's technically that's our Christmas stream, isn't it? Our technicality.
Technicality, yeah, it's like our pre-Christmas stream. But it'll be fun times, and yeah, that's it for now. So, on that note, I hope you guys have enjoyed hanging out here, and stay tuned for next week. And if you missed anything, the replay will be available like a few minutes after the stream's over. So, until next time, this is Soundout saying goodbye.